everybody. It is Friday, October 28th, 2016, and this is episode 24 of Heroines of the Cherry Blossom. We're back, and it's been so long. Reunited, and it feels so good. that's how I'm going to start off this episode. It's a little song. But you guys, of course, this is the head maid in charge here, Pizza Maid. And of course, I have with me the Empress of Nor, Crom's wife, and now Catboy Yowie aficionado, Sushi Geisha. Hi,
Hello.
Sushi.
Hello.
And of course, we also have with us the veteran war photographer, the Sonico lover of all things, and also a Catboy Yowie aficionado, Smashy.
Hello, everybody.
He's been outed.
I was gonna be like, he's ridiculously wired on coffee or caffeine right now, but yeah. But we are back. It's been a long time. I need to take a second to sincerely apologize to all the fans. We really do appreciate that you guys have been asking us to come back, and I apologize that it was a little longer than expected. To those who don't know, this is not our first episode. This is episode 24. I made a point to highlight that for a reason, but we were away for 2 months because I was moving. I was moving into my new apartment, and here I am now. And now I'm no longer in a long-distance relationship. Sam's actually in the living room, probably wondering if this microphone is going to drop eventually. But he's here now. He's here. We live together, and life is awesome. He's going to be starting his job soon with the robots and the Transformers. It's awesome. So we've been taking a little bit to settle down and get everything together, get our bearings straight. Of course, For the Lore has been recording more episodes for the last 2 weeks, but I needed to get all my eggs in a row. Or ducks in a row? Eggs in a basket? Fuck it, eggs in a row. We need to get our eggs in a row. So we're here, and we're back. And this week, what are we cooking? We're cooking omelets.
Eggs, yeah.
We're making fucking omelets tonight. How do you like your omelets?
Yowie. I don't know.
I like mine filled with male endorphins, just right at the core of my being. I don't know what that even is.
I'm just gonna, guys, listeners, dear sweet listeners. We're trying to refigure this stuff out, so I apologize before the show.
2 months takes, yeah.
Before the show,
we're unfortunate souls.
I was trying to talk about Otome games, and I said Yowie games, so my mind is clearly not very focused. And Smashy's hopped up on coffee. Allie is slowly shrinking onto the table as the microphone is falling. So, welcome back.
The gang's all back together. It's just like old times, you know.
Yeah, what's different from usual?
And that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. But I do have to say, just seeing the outpouring of everybody reaching out, asking, "When are you going to do another episode? When are you going to do another episode? We miss you. Or I just listened to this episode. I'm waiting for the next one." Thank you guys. That is the motivation and drive that got us, you know what I mean, back on the saddle and back to riding towards the sunset. And figuring out how to podcast all over again. So thank you very, very much for that. So we're back. And of course, like every episode we start off with, I gotta ask my crew, homeboy, homegirl, what are you playing this week?
Well, so, Legion came out. I think that came out right after our last episode. I reached level 110 on my Demon Hunter, and I've kind of put the game down. I think it's really I think it's a great expansion. Don't really have a lot of problems with it. I think my first problem right now is Karazhan, the 5-man just came out, is mythic only. I didn't realize that. Kind of have a problem with it being mythic only, but I'm not playing the game, so YOLO, whatever. I tried leveling some of my alts, like my Pally, my Priest, but I didn't get very far. But the Demon Hunter was really fun. I know you guys played a little bit of the Demon Hunter. I think, Pizza, you maxed yours. I know you and I both played the DPS back. I didn't like that I had almost no self-heals.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It was okay. I mean, it worked out okay because for all the damage that you did output, when you would regain those purple orbs, it would almost do, based on the talent spec, it would almost build back up your health. So I wasn't too upset about it. It reminded me a lot of Monk. So I was like, okay, whatever. It is
Yeah.
what it
I just like to be able to control that. Like I like to be able to hit a button when I want it, you know?
is. Mhm.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
so I did that. I actually played my first Civ game. I bought Civ
What?
6. And so I'm a big, I don't know, some people may not like this after or like me after I reveal this, but I'm a big Yogg's Cast fan, and Trump, um, SC, he does a lot of Hearthstone and used to do StarCraft stuff, fan, and they've been playing a lot of Civ, and they've been talking about it, and I listened to the Yogg's Cast podcast, and they got me kind of curious about it, and then Civ 6 just came out, so I broke down and I wanted it. So it's really tough. It's a really tough game. Um, I like it a lot though. Like it's totally different than anything I've ever played. The soundtrack is amazing. I did the tutorial with Smashy kind of like viewing me through
Mhm.
Steam, and it's really laggy. And I broke the tutorial apparently. So I just
Yeah.
jumped into a game and I wanted to win as Japan with a cultural victory because I wanted to have like museums and stuff like that. And um, I'm still my first game. I haven't died yet. I have survived one war, but I have like two world leaders that are really pissed off at me. And I fucked up my towns because I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm still alive. I haven't lost or anything like that. I still have three towns with very angry people because I can't figure out how to build enough housing um, for all these people.
Hmm.
And the barbarians are bastards. That's all I'm going to say. They have just attacked me relentlessly. So, all in all, Civ 6 is pretty awesome. Um, it's for, I don't know if it's the Smashy, you've played Civ 5 at least, right?
Yeah, I've played Civ 5 a lot.
I don't know if this is the right one to join the series on, but it seemed pretty easy. Granted, I watched a couple streams and had some idea, but it wasn't too hard to get into it. I don't know how Civ 5 was.
Yeah, see, it's kind of weird because they changed so much stuff between Civ 5 and Civ 6, and I'm so used to Civ 5 that, like, for me, having experience, it feels like a downside because, like, I'm going in and I'm like, okay, I want to do this, and then just, like, I keep running into problems, like, in Civ 6, like you said, with the housing and everything, where I'm just like, no, but I want to get a ton of people because I want a ton of people, but then it's like, oh, I'm running out of housing, so I have to do this. Oh, I need to keep building builders. I'm not used to that, so it's kind
Yeah,
of it seems like it'd be fine to get into. Like there's like a whole list of difficulties for Civ games and everything. So like you can go on the easiest ones and you'll be able to pick it up and learn the game and play through it, and it's not gonna like you're gonna get destroyed on those. So
Yeah,
you can start any of them. Mhm.
I've never played Civ 6 at all. I've never played any of the Civ series. I know Sam has. From the way he's been describing it and from the videos that he's been watching from Adam Cobell and Quill, who literally must have posted one every day for at least a month straight, my understanding of it, and I could very well be wrong, so somebody please correct me. It seems like the game still has its difficulty level, but it's more user friendly and interactive so that it engages casual players to want to get to know more about it. I feel like that's the revamp that they've done in this game compared to Civ Past. And apparently Scythia is like fucking OP as shit and it's
Oh
broken.
my
I
god,
don't
yeah.
even know what that is. I don't understand it, but that's apparently a big thing. But my understanding of it is the game is still as hard as it was in games past. Like the difficulty level really hasn't gone away, but they've just changed different mechanics about the system to make it more user friendly and interactive. And maybe that's a good thing that they did for it. I mean, it's attracted new players, much like yourself, Sushi. So you know what I mean. It's good that it's bringing in different crowds and different audiences. I think to the game to want to try it out.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean it. It was fairly um, easy to pick up, but I mean, there's a lot involved. Like, it is not a game. Like, sometimes I like my handheld because I can pick it up for 15, 20 minutes on a lunch break, do something real quick, and put it down. This game consumed like a Saturday for me. And I didn't even get like very far, which is awesome. I'm just saying that it's really amazing, and I like that it really engaged me for it being the first time I played it, and I didn't get frustrated and like turned it off and got pissed off, you know. But so yeah, I'm still kind of doing that. I'm still playing all my Fire Emblem games still.
Yes.
Awakening, I just kind of do grind levels with the different units. Crom is still the ultimate bae. I unlocked some extra units and I'm doing supports with them, which is really interesting. Like, I won't ruin the story, but there are some people that you wouldn't think you could get to join your team, and they actually do. So it's really interesting to see the interaction and their story. So yeah, that's going great. So I finished Conquest and Birthright. So I did it backwards, and I think we talked about this last show. I did Revelations. Well, no, I didn't do it backwards. Yeah, I did. I did Revelations, Conquest, and Birthright.
Yeah. You did Revelations, then Conquest, then Birthright.
Pizza. Birthright ripped me apart. That's all I'm gonna say.
Did you cry as much as I cried? Because I was
I have
unconsolable.
screenshots on my phone of shit that affected me and still affect me.
Wait, in a good way or in a bad way, or just in a highly emotional way?
Bad emotional way, but I had to honor the moment because it was so traumatic. And
I think I know which one you're talking about.
And all I'm gonna say is, happy birthday, Daddy Xander. It was yesterday. Love you. Mean it.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Daddy Xander.
So when I finished all three, I knew I wanted to pick one to keep going on with and just like grinding levels, because I'm trying to get the visitor. I'm trying to max out my visitor rewards. I don't know why, just because I really want to do that. And so at first I was like, no, fuck all you guys, Conquest all the way. Like, I hate Hoshido. I hate the happy peaceful ending. No, Conquest is where it's at. Like, fuck all y'all. And then I missed Leo, so I went back to Revelation. So, yeah, so I actually crossed the 2,800 visits mark today.
Congratulations!
So
that's
my
awesome.
next one is 3,000, and then 3,500, I think, and then 4,000. So it goes up to almost 10,000. So I'm just plugging away on that. If you guys want to come visit me, let me know, please, please, please. I have really cool stuff. I visit people back and give them really cool things. I'm maxed out on kids, though, so sorry.
We have no more. Wait, we can't make any more babies together?
I gotta delete one if I do. It's sad.
Fuck!
It's sad.
Oh, shit.
I'm still playing Sacred Stones. That game is hard as shit, but I love it. It is another Fire Emblem game, but it is it's set along the lines of the rest of the series, meaning when someone dies, they are dead.
Yeah, it's the classic difficulty.
Yeah, so you have to start the whole map over again. I'm about halfway, and it's crazy. But I already have like stories for the characters. I already have my favorite couples. I already have like I love them all. I love the pixel animation. It's gorgeous, but the maps are really kind of stressful. Because on one map, for example, I wanted to get this girl to join my team. So I had to learn the map. Well, I learned it, but someone died, so I restarted. And then she goes up to my strongest unit and gets herself killed. So I had to restart, right? And then I finally okay, you know what I'm going to do? My theory, my strategy, make them come to me. Fuck you guys. well, guess what? If you don't get to her by like turn 14, she walks away. And I was like, God damn it. So I'm very, very slowly playing through that game. I have to be in the right zone. But it's great. It has as usual for Fire Emblem, really good story, really good characters, amazing classes, Seth and Erica for life. Like, Seth is the tank. Like, you just, like, Smash and I were playing at the same time. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, fuck it, send Seth in. He'll just annihilate everything. Put him up front. So, yeah, and I do want to do some of the other ones. I want to see Ike and things like that. So I'll get through them at some point, but they're just really kind of intimidating for me right now because I do want to get everyone. So that means a lot of map restarts for me because I don't want people to die. I also started collecting the Fire Emblem Cypher cards. So it's like the TCG for Fire Emblem. Unfortunately, it's Japan only. But I've got my Crom deck. I've gotten all the royalty of... Well, I've got all of Nor, actually. Even someone's trashy wife named Charlotte.
You don't have her in Revelations.
No, because what do you know? Randomly, I didn't talk to her. It was a sign. It was a sign from the Dust Dragons that I was not to meet her. So deal with that.
You did it right. You did it right.
And we'll talk about later, but Final Fantasy 14. I picked up Final Fantasy 4. I've never. Well, I'll go into that later, but yeah. So this is kind of the first one that I'm actually playing like by myself. And Kane is awesome, and he's a dragoon, so I like that. And Yaoi time, Kane and Cecil, always. So I'm trying to run through these quickly. It's been a while. So Hearthstone, I'm still kind of doing that thing. I don't know I know Smashy knows, but the Amazon Prime thing, where if you have Amazon Prime, you can get one, you can sub to someone for free every month. So, when that happened, I think it was right after TwitchCon, everybody's like, I think Kriparian, he named people for 1 hour, like thanking them, and that wasn't even nearly as many people that subbed to him. It's been a really cool thing to see. So I subbed to Kibler because I really dig his Dragon Priest decks, and he is Smashy's husbando. He's a good provider.
Is a good provider.
And so hopefully next week at BlizzCon we'll get an expansion announced for Hearthstone. They've been releasing some things, and some people have some suspicions that it's another Gadget Zan.
Images of Gadget Zan, blah.
Well, I hope it's not goblin. It doesn't mean it's goblins. It just means it could take place in Gadget Zan. But so I'm looking forward to that. The Final Fantasy rhythm game that I can never pronounce the name.
The Atrium.
Huh?
The Atrium?
Yeah.
I think maybe.
I picked that up again. I maxed out my original party of Cloud, the other Cloud, Zach, and Vincent. And now I'm leveling Fran, Squall, Ace, and Rosa. And I picked up the Pokemon demo. It's a Pokemon game. So it's cool. You should download it. It's free. Like, I think you get bonuses for logging in every day. So that's cool. And then we'll talk about it more later, but it's been a big Final Fantasy week, I think, for a lot of us. So, but that's all for me. I'm going to stop talking now.
Then what have I done? Let's see. I played WoW Legion 2. I leveled my monk to 110, mostly as a healer. Near the end, I got lazy and just started DPSing everything because no one was really getting hurt.
He was supposed to be healing my demon hunter. And I'd look up, I'd be like, are you healing me? And he's punching shit over in the corner. I'm like, yeah, you're not healing me.
You didn't die, it's fine. I made sure you didn't die by punching stuff before it hit you.
Thank you.
I leveled my rogue to 110, and I did like the whole like class hall quest and everything, that whole chain on my rogue, which is pretty neat. Like you meet a whole bunch of NPCs and do like a whole series of quests and stuff like that. But it was interesting, but I don't know. It didn't seem like hugely important. Eh. Um, I played Civ 6 a little bit, and it is just very, very different from Civ 5. And like it's definitely gonna take a lot of time for me to play it just to get used to it because I'm just still just like so stubborn. I'm like, no, I want to build every single wonder, and it's really not worth it to build a whole bunch of wonders in Civ 6 as much because they take up tiles on the map, and I want to say you get absolutely nothing if you lose the wonder. So like, it's really punishing if you're building it and someone else finishes it before you. Um, One thing I will say is, yeah, Scythia seems really overpowered because I was just randoming leader until I saw one that I liked their abilities, and I'm like, oh, I like her abilities. All of my people, whenever they kill stuff, they heal half their HP when they kill somebody. And oh, every time I build a light cavalry, you get 2 light cavalry at once instead of just 1. So she has some really powerful abilities and seems really strong.
Wow.
So I like that. Yeah.
I picked the wrong choice, clearly.
Yeah, clearly. And she has like these she has horse archers as her unique unit, which are just like really solid because you get like a ranged unit that has a lot of movement speed and everything. And because they're ranged, they're really good at making use of the fact that every time they land a killing blow, they heal half their HP. So they're really strong, which is nice.
Wow.
You know, Final Fantasy 14 up to level 53 with Nanashi. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! We finished the main story quest, like the leveling portion of it in A Realm Reborn. Talk about that more later, I guess. And I'm enjoying glamours. I've used one. used a whole ton of them in one. That I changed my pink bard dress thing into just
A bathing suit
thing.
top.
It's a gladiator armor top. You know, it covers as much as the bathing suit, but it's gladiator armor, Zan. Come on.
Right. Right.
I plan on messing around with them more, but for now, just focusing on the main story and everything. Mm-hmm. And I started playing World of Final Fantasy, and oh my god, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm probably going to play that again tonight, because I really haven't had much time the rest of this week, other than the night it came out.
Yeah, so that's my fault. That's really my fault. Yeah, I have it too, and I've been obsessed with Final Fantasy 14, so I've made him play it with me, so sorry.
Yes, someone's been rushing through all the story in Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, but you're missing the best cutscenes when you do that.
Oh, we've been watching the normal cutscenes, but not the
dungeon not the dungeon ones? Okay.
Yeah, because we don't want to sit behind the dungeons. But we've just been doing it for like hours a night, but I've been watching people playing a lot of like Pokemon Nuzlocke runs online and stuff on YouTube, and a big thing. The main thing of that is supposed to be like you catch one Pokemon per route, and whenever a Pokemon dies, like it's dead for good. Mm-hmm. And I'm not doing anything like that, but one thing that they usually add is like you're supposed to like name all your Pokemon when you catch them. It's just like a weird thing, but it really adds like that little bit of like emotional connection to all your people. I don't know, it seems kind of silly, but like it really does that. And so I'm doing that in Final Fantasy. I'm actually like really enjoying it because like the baby Chocobo chick that I got at the start, I named Kwa after my Chocobo in Final Fantasy 14. And Kwa is awesome. And it's just like a little thing, but it's like I could replace Kwa with someone else because I think they're a little bit stronger than the baby Chocobo. But I don't want to replace Kwa. He's been good to me. He's awesome.
Aww.
So, like, I'm going through it, and it's like I'm using stuff more that like I like this character more so much than like, oh, this is the better character and everything. Mm-hmm. And it adds a bit more fun and everything to it like that. I really like how it has like a skill grid because I love skill grids. Like going through getting to like okay, plot out. I can spend these points and level up in this way to get like these abilities, and it's really fun doing that, especially because it includes the skill grid is also how you evolve your different mirages between the different forms.
Yeah, that is actually really, really awesome in this
Mhm.
game.
And I really like the fact that like because of the stacking, you can find a use for all types of mirages, like the small ones, medium ones, and large ones. And like it's cool because it means that like if you still need a small mirage, you might not want to evolve your like baby chocobo, whatever, because then it'll become larger. So there's actually like a good reason to not evolve stuff
Hmm.
because that's one thing in Pokemon. It's always like, oh, you all pretty much always just want to evolve stuff. Like there's some cases you don't, but it's pretty much always like, oh, you want to evolve stuff, get better stats, blah blah blah. So it's kind of cool. Like you have like that planning where it's like, oh, I'm gonna use my Kawa baby Chocobo as my small person, so I'm not going to evolve him, or maybe I'll plan to evolve him at a way later time. But for now and everything, it's cool having like you get to use all mirages in all the different forms if you want to.
Hmm.
But that's about it for games I've been playing.
Ah, games for me. Well, I did play Warcraft Legion. I did level a Demon Hunter. Rinka was 110, and she got pretty far, but I found myself at the point where when I finally got to Soromar, I wasn't very excited with the area. I was kind of like, oh, I'm there. But I will say that leveling those 10 levels during this expansion, I think they did a very, very good job in. Because I
Mm-hmm.
know in past expansions, doing that level grind to just level to get to cap again, it was just very exhausting. This didn't feel like that. This was very story driven, and it actually was very engaging and very interactive for you as the player. So I actually really, really enjoyed the questing to getting to 110. But then once you finally hit 110 and I got to Suramar, I was just like, oh, okay, I'm done. And my sub had expired, and I was like, okay, time to put my foot down and just, bid adieu. Because
Yeah,
of that, huh?
yeah, that was pretty much the same thing that happened to me. I got to
It's
Suramar. I did some of the dailies on my rogue, but it's just like, well, this is the big grind fest area at the end of leveling.
I
Did a little
almost
bit of it and then just I've done this in multiple expansions before.
But and I feel like they went about it this go around with really good intentions and executed it properly, but then it's for whatever reason they got to that last point where I don't want to say that it was half-assed by any means, but they just completely stopped where I was driven by the story once I got to Sormar. Like nothing at Sormar compelled me to want to keep going, not the way that the other zones did. So I was a little disappointed by that. And I mean, I'm hearing about all, the incoming raids and the old school things coming back and Nax and whatnot. That's amazing. And I'm really excited for people who are excited about it. I just, it didn't capture me the way I felt at the beginning because when I first started the expansion, I was really engaged. And I think I actually ended up leveling to 110 in about a week or two, maybe a week or so. And I was so excited about it. But then once I finally hit 110, I was like, oh, it's almost like they're kind of like, okay, you've completed it. All the fun stuff's over. Back to dailies. I was just like, no, why'd you do that? I was really enjoying where this was going. But I did play that. Now that me and Sam are living together, we have a desktop PC, so we could play a lot more MMOs. So I actually resub to Star Wars: The Old Republic because they have the Light versus Dark event going on right now. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll dive back into SWTOR for a month and see how much I like it. They have made it now where it is so story driven from start to finish that I ended up rolling a level 1 consular and absolutely loving it. Like the story is just so engaging for me. And at that point, I haven't been playing in the last week or so because someone resubbed to Final Fantasy 14. Not gonna name names me. I was literally playing for like 2-3 hours every night and just going through the zones. But they made it very accessible for either veteran players or new players to advance in the storyline, just so you can get to, the continued content. And I'm very, very pleased with what they did. I really am enjoying it. So I still have my sub for that, and I'm pretty excited about it. I just need to keep going. I think my consular is currently 35, so she has 30 more levels to complete.
So
And telekinetics is fun.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. So, because Sab and I played it, and I forced Smashy to play it for a little bit, but he didn't like it. When it first came out, how
Uh-huh.
many expansions have they had? Has it been two? One?
Uh, I want to say it's actually been three, and
Oh.
I feel horrible if I'm wrong, but it's not really an expansion so much as it feels like and I feel horrible constantly comparing it to Final Fantasy 14, but it feels like it's more story patches, not
Hmm.
full blown expansions. But I think it was something about Revan, then it was the Fallen Empire, and then this new one
Hello?
that's coming out. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Is Knights of the Fallen Empire? I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Um, so I think it's been three, but I don't know if they're expansions or story patches. Not entirely sure.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely fun, and apparently the story is very very well done. I know Sam just finished wrapping up one of his tunes, so I know that he was pretty excited about that. And then I'm trying to think. He has also a trooper, I believe, that he's working on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's currently working on that at the moment. Um, there's that going on, and then I'm trying to think. I did start playing a few mobile Tome games. I played Mystic Messenger, which was
Oh
actually
God, yeah. That's like, what is? Okay, I
it
refuse to get
is
involved because I see people's sleep patterns disturbed because of this game.
it's no, it's fucking amazing. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And I'm actually really I need to dive back into it, but again, I just got to a point where I was so busy that I just never got around to being able to play it, but it's it's a mobile Atome playing as mobile texting. It's very similar to Line Messenger or Kakao if you're familiar with those messenger services. It's basically just very popular, social mobile apps, and it engages you to, make your choices and, choose who you want to talk to or who you choose to romance throughout the game. I chose Zen,
Of
not
course.
Raj, but Zen, you know why? Because Zen looks like the male form of Corinne from Fire Emblem. That's why I chose him. White hair and red eyes. It was a clear cut winner. I was like, okay. Now his personality is icky to like the fullest. But I don't
Mm.
care because he looks like a male Corinne, and I was pretty content with that.
See,
So I was like, whatever, I get past
everything
it.
I've seen about the game, it seems really groundbreaking, and it's an indie game, right? Like,
Yeah, it's done by Chariots. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Chariots. It's
mm-hmm.
I believe, a Korean-based company, and I mean they have voice acting, and it just took off. It really took off, and it's because it's an Otome that's done entirely different than how we've seen other visual novels and Otomes being played. So
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love it. I'll probably get back into it at some point. Plus, I just found out tonight that Notice Me Senpai added a couple new themes and a couple new cafe expansions. There's a maid cafe theme, and you can dress up all the senpais in maid outfits. Skill shot. I want to take a second to thank you for making my dream a reality. This
Yeah.
had nothing to do with me. It is in no way directly connected to me, but I feel like you listened to me. You saw the shooting star that I was wishing on, and you answered my dreams. Thank you. Right now, I don't think I'll ever change the theme of my cafe and Notice Me Senpai. And it is my mission now to make sure every senpai is collected and wearing a maid dress. So thank you. Just thank you. I'm the happiest girl ever. So I've been playing that. Fire Emblem Fates. Just before I moved into the apartment, I stopped playing for a little bit just because I had to take care of moving stuff. But I'm going to probably dive back into it. I still haven't finished Revelations yet.
Oh,
So close. I haven't finished it. But I'm glad that I'm hoping you enjoyed Birthright, because that still is probably my favorite story of the entire game.
it's traumatic as shit. That's all I'm saying. If you are a Nora lover, get ready to just like want to go to war with Hoshito. Like, I wrote a fan fiction where I went back to war
so
with you guys.
So you didn't like Hoshito after playing Birthright? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I don't like you people.
But no, we're fine. We're not bad.
No. If I had stayed with my right family, I won't go into spoilers, but two things wouldn't have happened. And
wait, are we talking about the cliff?
No, that's Awakening is the cliff, right?
No.
No.
I'm talking about Fates in the Cliff.
With one of your retainers. You know,
with your leash.
K.
Oh.
Is that what you're talking about?
I don't think that happened.
Okay, let's just do spoilers because I'm dumb. What are we talking about here? Spoilers. Cut it off.
Oh yeah, wait. Okay.
Spoilers.
Everyone gets 10 seconds to walk away right now. Because I don't want to spoil. 10 seconds. You got 10 seconds.
You can blame Sushi for being stupid. It's fine. Okay.
Okay, spoilers. Okay. Are you talking about when Kaze died?
No.
What were you upset about?
When my sister, and then I had to kill my brother.
Oh.
And I had to
Are you upset? You really got upset about that?
Oh my god.
Don't get me wrong. I was upset when Elise died. I was upset. I was very upset. But shit happened with poor Sakura in Conquest. It was sad too. It was Sakura. And no, I don't think she died.
No, none of them died.
None
of them died except for Lobster Lord, who took his own life. Like,
stop it! It's a sacrifice that didn't need to happen. He went to the Red Master Heaven.
But I lost 2 siblings. You people lost one by his own choice. Like, and then by Leo is like this sad king by himself. He has to come see Lobster Lord's coronation, and everyone's so happy, and it's just him and Camilla, and I'm like, oh no, we're walking out of here. We're getting the army rebuilt. We're gonna come back here. We're gonna fuck your shit up, like, for Xander.
No, Birthright's still amazing. I thought you meant it was emotionally, like, hard to deal with because of Kaze's death, because Kaze could technically stay alive, but Kaze dying, I was unconsolable when that happened. I literally cried for 2 hours that evening. Going, I can't believe I lost Kaze. Oh God. Oh, 119. 119. I was so upset.
No, it was
taken away.
Calling 911 in Canada?
Pretty much.
It was I don't want to dwell. I'm not saying. I think the story was great because I saw a part of Conquest that I never got to see, or of Nor that I didn't get to see, and I loved that part. And and this is something that I've gone on to Twitter about, and I'm not going to go into a rant because I'm biased and I know this, but Lobster Lord, where do I begin? Lobster Lord is the father. He's raising all those kids. Like, and they're all kids. Like, Takumi's got problems. And, like, I mean, who do you want to lead the kingdom? Look at Nor. We are reserved. We are cultured. We know how to go to battle. Poor Lobster Lord's over there by himself trying to keep the family together. Sakura's trying to help everyone else out. And the other two, they're mean. Every time they see me, they want to fucking kill me. But every time my Nor siblings see me in Birthright, they're like, oh my god, we miss you so much. Like, why can't you come back? And I'm like, shit, man, I should have stayed. But meanwhile, in Conquest, every single one of those people, the Hoshito siblings, they're like, die! I hate you! And I'm like, whoa, wow, really?
But you also have to now also bear in mind too. But remember this as well. Look at the position. We gonna have a discussion about this sometime. We all talk about this sometime. But just remember the position and stance of them losing Makoto and them losing their mother. Like there was resentment because you had just come in out of nowhere, and there he is. He's gone. Your mother's gone, and they loved her dearly. And Sakura wasn't mean. Hinoka was rough around the edges. Yeah.
Sakura is great. She was great. Her and Lobster Lord, they were the ones keeping the family together. The other two, good lord. And then also, okay, you want to talk about parenting? Let's talk about parenting. Lobster Lord keeping Shiro locked away till he's 30? He doesn't even know anything. He's like an adult, and he comes out and he knows absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, Xander's like, Sigbert, come on, go out there, stab somebody. We're gonna do something.
There's different parenting practices in this game. Clearly.
Like I said, I'm biased. I know this.
I feel like this is going to be the start of the Nord versus Hoshido episode coming soon to a podcast near you.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sidetrack.
Oh, no, but it's going to happen. We need to have this discussion, and it'll be a healthy debate. It'll be like, we should technically make it a presidential debate. Be like, you should vote Hoshido. Vote Hoshido for 2016. We'll do that. We'll do
wait,
that.
Wait.
Actually, fun.
Someone else is being quiet on this discussion.
I'm trying to say something. The one thing I found that's really weird is like there's no reason for you to ever side with Hoshido. Nor is your family that has raised you. Hoshido is literally just a bunch of people who have no relation to you whatsoever. They're just a bunch of random people who are like, join us against your family. Why would you ever join them? You shouldn't join them.
No, there's plenty of reason to join Hoshido. There's plenty of reason. We're so going to have this debate.
You don't know them.
I'm going to be
strangers, you don't know them. There's no relation to you whatsoever.
I'm going to be like Trump arguing on the presidential debate about not getting an Emmy. I should have won.
It was rigged. It was rigged.
Let's talk about ISIS.
Wrong.
Nasty
won. Woman.
You're nasty. That's right, Sushi. You're a nasty woman. Yowie. You're a nasty thing, Yowie. But we will discuss that. But again, I am forever a Hoshido. Hoshido is in my blood, always, and we will discuss this at length. What else? Fuck, I forgot what else I've been playing. Shit, and I didn't write show notes. I fucked up. No, I've been playing World of Final Fantasy. Awesome fun. Now, Smashy, you brought up a really good point about the Nuzlocke challenge with naming each of the Pokemon. I have been doing the same. I'm in love with my Chocobo, LL Cool Quay. He is
good Lord.
LL Cool Quay might be my favorite person in the whole wide world. Absolutely love him. He can do no wrong in my eyes. No wrong. And he's literally, I'm playing him all the time. I also have a copper golem named Lincoln. I have a Mandragora who I think I named Mandalorian or Mandrafet. I don't remember. And I've been attaching names to all of them as well. So I understand the sentiment. So I need to keep playing though. I'm still up to the first dungeon. So I have to just keep playing, but I just haven't had enough time to play because Final Fantasy XIV. Now there was a period just before I moved out of my house to move into my apartment that I wasn't sure if I could financially afford Final Fantasy XIV, so I actually unsubbed intermittently for like a month. That was the worst month of my life. I was so upset. Like I was physically crying when I unsubbed and said goodbye to everybody because I thought I was going to have to give up my house. I wasn't going to get to see my friends anymore. I wasn't going to get to play, but I had to, take care of my actual living quarters, so I didn't know if I could financially afford it. But thankfully, we've been really good about, budgeting and whatnot, and we're living very well within our means, and so we've been able to afford. I can actually afford 2 subs. I'm doing both Final Fantasy and SWTOR, which is really cool. So I'm back into Final Fantasy 14. I went through this. It's really weird. I have a tendency that when I do certain things or when I make changes in my life, I go through identity crises. Crises, I think is the word. So I had Fantasia'd from a Lalafell into a human, and I wanted to level up Bard. And that was all well and good, and I did that for a little bit, and then I got the Encyclopedia Eorzea, and that just changed everything. And I think that's how I'm going to segue into this next discussion. To those who've been wondering, this is going to actually be very heavily focused and very centric to Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, Heavensward. You may possibly hear spoilers in this episode. Of course, for us playing, I'm not going to spoil for you guys what you haven't seen yet. I think you need to experience that for yourself because I think the game does it so flawlessly well if that's even a phrase. But I think they do it so well that I think it's definitely something you need to experience. So, I mean, I'm sure, I think if anything, we'll only discuss up until the point where we're at in the game right now. I will not spoil it for you guys as to what you have seen or haven't seen, but um, I have been a long time fan of this game since it first came out. I played it in beta. I played it on launch day. My first realm was fairy, and I have been playing on and off ever since its beginning. And I was thankful to have witnessed all the anniversaries, all the events. So it's been a good time, and I'm really excited that both you and Smashy are getting to enjoy it now. So I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on things, get your perspective, because aside from the Twitter fam, who are there's a very great community of Final Fantasy 14 players on Twitter, which is basically the bulk of my followers and people that I follow on Twitter. So it's very nice to see, close friends of mine also get involved into the game, and I'm very curious to hear your thoughts about it. So, I mean, let's just start off with, where do you feel are the strengths and weaknesses of the game, and what's your stance on that?
Well, I will say, okay, two things. Sab is also back playing it.
What?
Yeah, he loved it. Well, I'll say that. I'll go back to it. The other thing is on Instagram, there is a great Final Fantasy 14 community as well. Yep. Since I've been posting my cat boys, I've found like more cat boys that like to look at other cat boys. So, yay, cat boys. So, yeah, also on Instagram, if you just search like the tag, like there are really beautiful pictures and really nice, positive, happy people. So I've actually, well, myself, Smashy, and Sab have picked up Final Fantasy 14, I think probably about feels like 10 times. And this one time it stuck when I made, okay. So it stuck a little bit last time when I made Takashi, who is a cat boy. It's the first time I've played a male character in an MMO. I hated it every other time I picked it up just because of random things like the gear when you start off. I'm sure if you're listening, you probably know you look like a freaking oven mitt, and I hated it. And then coming from Warcraft and even Guild Wars. I mean, Guild Wars doesn't have mounts, but you don't really have to run far in Guild Wars. They have a teleportation system, which, I mean, Final Fantasy 14 does too, but just Final Fantasy 14, when I played it the first time, it was sending me up and down massive maps. And I'm like, really? You couldn't have fucking told me to tell this guy that last time I was just there? And like, there was no voice acting. It seemed like all the rewards were for long-term players. So, like, even the hair, you had to get to, like, level 13 or 14 to redo your hair. Glamour was max level. All this other stuff. The maps, I could not, especially my hometown, the Pirate Beach. What's it called?
Limsa Lominsa.
Yeah. I wanted to just jump off into the freaking water because I had no clue where the hell I was going. And you can't do that. You can't jump off into the water.
They're like, don't you step off that ledge, my friend.
Exactly.
Like, they really want to keep you there.
Exactly. And so, like, it was so frustrating in the beginning. But like any MMO, they kind of, they've changed things. And it's gotten better and better. And they made it a little bit more, like, newbie friendly, I guess is how you would say it. And I got Takashi to probably level 36. And then I just kind of stopped. I don't remember why. And then suddenly, recently, I just, like, randomly picked it up. And I can't put it down. Like, I just want to play it all the time. I want to stay up till like 3 a.m. playing it, and I have not been this way since I picked up Warcraft for the first time, like years and years ago. I'm now level 53. I'm a dragoon, and I don't care if you people don't like Catboy dragoons, which I have found on the internet that you don't like them, and that's very rude of you, because Takashi is a good boy, and he tries to DPS very hard, and we try to thrust things and all that stuff.
Oh,
So,
that vorpal thrust. That
um,
vorpal thrust.
and like Smashy said, we just finished the main story for A Realm Reborn. We actually finished it last night.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah.
I can't. And now there are some things I have not done, and I'm a total noob at this game. And that's what I love about it right now. I love that everything I do is so new and exciting and different. And I haven't felt that in an MMO in so long. Um, but like I haven't tried the profession or the yeah, or they're called professions in this game, right?
Yeah, it's Disciples of the Hand and Disciples of the Land. They're gathering and crafting professions. Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't gone into that. I've just been a dragoon, so I haven't tried any of the other jobs or anything like that. But there's just so many things about this game that really draw you in, and they seem. I was kind of trying to talk about with Sab last night, and it seems like they actually won up Blizzard. And what I mean by that is, so Blizzard is known for going in and taking the various things within a genre of games that works and combining it into one game. So their game has the best of everything, right? And so you want to play the Blizzard game. So, but I think Final Fantasy XIV one up them by taking all the good things and making what Blizzard did even better and taking stuff from like Guild Wars and just really like you can do whatever you want in this game. Like if I want to log in and go to the beach and hang out in my bathing suit, which I do a lot, a lot, I can. You know, like I can do dungeons, I can do story. Like it's just it's really it feels like I can do anything. I can just chase fates across the map, which is kind of like if you're a Guild Wars 2 person, it's kind of like the old school trains that we used to do in the low levels and stuff, or on the maps. You just chase the fates, and you can do it by yourself. Like you can do it in groups. Like there's groups that form. Like it's just there's so much about this game that really has just grabbed my attention, and I really am digging it. I'll stop talking, Smashy. You can talk about what you like, I guess. I feel like I'm just gonna ramble.
No, it's fine. I'm so excited. I'm like, you guys finally feel the excitement that I've been feeling all these years. I love it. Keep going. Go on forever.
And like that's Sab picked it up at first when we picked it up, and he loved it. And he didn't understand why Smash and I were frustrated. He's like, no, this is a great game. And I'm like, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying that it's really kind of pissing me off right now. Like, you know.
And don't get me wrong, for as much as I love this game and I'm devoted to this game, it does have its issues. And I'm gonna let Smashy speak first before I jump on that. But I mean, every game, there's no perfect MMO. It's gonna have its pros and it's going to have its cons. It's just I feel that in many respects it has more pros than it does cons. But I'm curious to hear Smashy's perspective on it also. Hear what you think. So
Okay, so my perspective is like Zam was mentioning with the gear, how early on you look like an oven mitt. There's that, but one thing I do say, like I will say that I kind of liked about that is once you get to the higher levels and you get your special job gear and everything, like I got my bard outfit, and got her dragoon armor and everything, like it feels like it really just kind of clicks where it's like, oh, I have like this really cool set of like badass armor and everything. Like I am a bard. Zan is a dragoon. Like we have this really cool armor, and that really kind of shows it off. Like we've leveled up all this way, and this is what we have to show for it, kind of.
And it makes you feel like it's just one piece of the puzzle that they give you that makes you feel like a hero. That's just one small piece of it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have that progression just in the way that you look, and admittedly, I think it kind of depends between some of the stuff and what armor you find, but like you definitely kind of notice how like early on you have like the really silly like the oven mitts, the stuff like that, just the really like silly looking leather armor like that. But then like even later on, like I have some stuff where it's just like it looks better than the other armor is how I best describe it. But so like even just by leveling, even before you get your job stuff, you kind of notice it's like, yeah, I'm getting this cooler, better looking stuff now. Um, I absolutely love my chocobo in the game.
He does.
I name my chocobo Kawa, and Kawa is amazing because I ask him what he wants to be called, and he's a chocobo. I say Kawa.
Oh my god.
That's actually
But
very spot on there. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
but I really like it because like you can set talents for your chocobo like as you use them and level them up and everything.
Mhm,
So mine is mainly in the healing tree. Though I'm
mhm.
starting to split it off to the other ones now that I got Chocobo Cure, whatever, like the big like actual heal that has other than just the heal over time. But
Yeah.
ever since we got the Chocobo heal, actually, like the heal over time was really nice and it saved us plenty times, I'm sure. But the actual burst heal when like I have Kawa, Zan has her Chocobo named Zan, and they're both healing. Like it's just so good because while we're questing and leveling and everything, we don't need to worry too much about just suddenly dying to something because we weren't watching our HP and it was slowly going down over a few fights. It's like we have these chocobos going with us that are healing us back up after every fight during the fight, and they've saved these quads saved my life so many times.
It's
Oh,
Because
so
I
I'm
can
funny.
tell
like,
you the stories. Your
It's
chocobo.
it's so funny because he'll go like we'll finish like a fate or something and he'll go, "Thank you, Kwa." And I'm like, Zam was over here. She's spec healer. You could thank her too. You know.
Oh, I've normally leveled up as white mage, and my chocobo, which I dyed white, I named him Artemis because that's when I had my Sailor Venus glamour in the game. So I would literally run places with him tanking, and let me tell you, those were life saving. And I'd be like, "Oh, bless you, Artemis. You're so good to my soul. You'll never leave me nor forsake me. Thank you." I know that feeling. I know that feeling so well, and you grow. They make you grow an attraction to. They make you grow a relationship
Mhm.
to your chocobo. It's just
mhm,
great,
Mhm.
and then it doubles not just as a mount, but it's also a companion for you, which I think is they have it very well done in this game. They really do.
mhm,
I know the gear is probably one of the biggest things for me. The ongoing joke that everybody says is glamour is the real end game in Final Fantasy 14, and it's so fucking true because the aesthetics and just the graphics and visuals of the game is so beautiful. Fashion is important because you see it so crisp. And I love also that exactly as Smashy and Sushi said that you do feel special when you get your class armor at high levels because you see the evolution of yourself becoming the warrior of light,
Mhm.
which is important because the game does center and focus itself around you regardless of who you are and regardless of who you choose to be. I remember before playing Final Fantasy 14, I was a huge altaholic, still am to some degree, and a lot of other MMOs because I never found a class that worked well for me. And the long running joke within my FC was that I didn't get to choose the white mage life. The white mage life chose me because I kept running levy meets, which is basically like just repeatable quests to just
Mhm.
build up XP. But you get treasure coffers in them in the process. And I would constantly keep getting gear treasure coffers. And no matter what tune I was playing, and at that time I was leveling 3 tunes at the same time, I getting nothing but conjurer and white mage items. Conjurer and white mage items just over and over and over and over again. I was like, fuck. I didn't want to be a healer. That was the one thing I told myself. I was like, I'm not going to be a healer. I'm not going to be a healer. But I got so much gear. I was like, all right, fuck it. I guess I'll try healing if I have all this gear. And I started dungeoning as a white mage, and I fell in love with a healer. I mean, me and white mage still have quite the love-hate relationship where I try to walk away from it, but then it just pulls me back in. It's like that jealous ex-boyfriend that doesn't want to let you go. Like that's white mage for me. But the game with gear really it helps you define who you are or the person that you want to be and the direction that you want to go in, which I think is great. And I think that's one of the things that I love about this game. Now, mind you, this is also a game where one character, you can be any class you want on just one character. Alcoholism can be thrown out the window because you could do everything
Yeah.
that you want to do on one tune, which is absolutely amazing. Which is why when they announced added inventory space and gear inventory, everybody fucking lost it because shit, we need that. We need that. Otherwise, I'm literally spending $2, $3 a month extra on top of my sub for the additional retainers in their space. But this game with gear, just from the aesthetics to the direction that it puts you in, I absolutely love it. I agree, though, that the maps are very hard to read in this game. And I hate that the user interface is just so bland and basic, but it's helped me as a player to become more aware of my surroundings and mechanics, having no mods, no, UI changes other than maybe like, repositioning a couple of my macros or, changing the sizes of my icons, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
This game is very bare bones in its user interface, but it makes you such a better player in my mind as an MMO player, because you're not focused or relying on anything but the tools that are utilized in front of you, the bare bones tools. And then of course, the way they do dungeoning and raiding, they have a really good system of how to alert you that an incoming attack's going to come in, or
Yeah.
to know what to do in a dungeon, or if there's a certain role that you need to carry out aside from just offering DPS or healing or tanking.
Well,
I think they do it really, really well.
I like the area of effect.
Yes.
So you know where the attack is going to be. And since we did give the warning that we will do spoilers up until the end of A Realm Reborn, we thought, okay, and so spoiler alert, in case you haven't beaten it, the ultimate weapon battle as a melee, go fuck yourself. That's all I gotta say. Like, there was nowhere I could stand. There was purple, there was red, there was green. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. Like, and people expect me as a dragoon to die. Like, I can't be that dragoon. Takashi is better than this. And I didn't die. I did not die. I don't even think I took a lot of damage other than like regular AoE damage that just naturally happens. But yeah, no, that is so... You know when you accidentally pull a mob, and you also know when it's connected to more than one thing, which is very helpful. Especially running with Smasshy, who likes to use AoE for no reason other than it looks cool.
I know it's going to pull more stuff, but I'm going to pull it anyways. You can't stop me.
He loves that flaming arrow.
That's literally
what
my in-game husband does that, and it's fucking annoying. And then, mind you, I'm a healer, and he may be tanking or DPSing, so I have to ask him if I haven't done the dungeon before. I'd be like, well, what's the strat? And the only thing he tells me is Dodgeball Simulator 2016. I'm like, you motherfucker,
so
what do you mean?
So we did the last 2 dungeons last night. And if you follow me on Twitter, then you know what I tweeted, but I'm going to repeat it. We saw God in the virtual flesh. His name is Lord DeVille, and he is a Dark Knight. He was like, okay, you guys, go stand at the cannons. I'll be right back. Hundreds of mobs later, he's only at like a quarter, like 75% health. He comes running back. He's like, okay, blow him up. And we're like, oh, Jesus Christ, okay. And they all fall over dead. And then he goes back for more. He's like, stay there. I'll be right back. And I'm like, Smashy, am I? He's like, yeah, it's real. This is life. This is happening. I'm like, I want to be a Dark Knight. Like,
Dark Knight is fucking fun. Sab is a Dark Knight. Sab is born to be a Dark Knight. I'm calling it now.
He is pouting because he can't be a Dark Knight until Heaven's Ward.
Oh, shit.
So he's leveling up. He's going to be a warrior, I think. Mm-hmm. And then when he gets to Heaven's Ward, oh my God, that's all he wants in his life right now is to be a Dark Knight. That's all he wants. So when I told
Dark Knight is so worth it.
When I told him what I saw, he was pouty. He's very pouty.
Well, now here's the other thing too, and I don't know if this was necessarily the case with Lord DeVille. There is certain dungeons that, based on your level, if he's already level 60, he might actually have it checked on his dungeon finder to where he doesn't level scale with everybody else. So he may be operating under level 60 gear doing level 50 content. So that might be another reason why he's broken OP.
No,
it's fun.
I'm sure that's what it is. Because I went on Twitter and I was like, it's insane because we did a trial, and I forget the name of it, but it's the trial right before the last 2 dungeons. Mm-hmm. And that was our first 8-man content. And I was really nervous. We were reading strats, and then we go, like, the queue pops in 1 minute. I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're 2 DPS. How did this happen? We run in. No one pays attention to the mechanics. 20 seconds later, the thing falls over dead. The tank says, hey, don't forget to hug dogs, and, like, left. And I'm like, where's my wallet? Like, what just happened? And Smashy's like, wow, we got a lot of money for that. Like, we should do that again. And I'm like, what is going on? So I went to Twitter, and a very nice follower, I don't know if you listen, she said that I guess it's like a daily thing. You can kind of queue. And the cool thing about that I like, that I wish other MMOs would do, is that we noticed people were actually excited to have new people in the dungeon with them and the trials with them, because they got more of those tokens or whatever.
Yeah, the tombstones of lore or law or whatever.
Book majiggers.
Yeah, it's this game really encourages old veteran players, or finger air quotes, veteran players, people that have just been playing a while, and new players to meld together, because there are bonuses for each of them. And the greatest thing about this game, and I don't care what anybody says, anybody who wants to be mad at me, you can be bad at me. People are fucking friendly in dungeons. Let me tell you, it's scary being a healer in a fucking MMO. But playing Final Fantasy XIV, I have never dealt with a douchebag as a tank. I haven't dealt with a douchebag tank just yet. It's quite nice.
So, Sushi and Smashy story time. So we stopped doing the main story back at right around level 25, so we had a lot of backtracking. There's 184 quests in the main storyline for A Realm Reborn that we had to do. So we were in one dungeon. It was a low level. We weren't that worried about it, right? The tank was just taking off, right? And the healer had on a hat that looked like a dunce hat, you know what I mean? And so we're like, okay, you know, whatever. Like, everyone's keeping up. No one said anything. So we get to this one part. The tank runs in. The healer's like a bazillion miles away. We die. The healer runs in. They die. So we come back. The tank runs back in, not waiting on the healer. The healer runs in and aggroes a whole nother set of mobs. Runs to the tank. Refuses to heal anybody. We all die. And then he drops. And so we're standing around with the tank, and I'm like, I just kind of want to mess with the tank a little bit. So I just typed, sup, and, which is not normally how I talk in MMOs. I'm very, polite usually. Not that isn't, but it's usually bro talk, you know what I mean? And so the tank didn't say anything, and then in he goes, worst healer ever.
What?
And I didn't, as a former healer that I've healed in every MMO I played that you can be a healer in, I did not say anything. And Smasshy and I just like lost it. Like, we were just dying laughing. We got another healer. We did fine. But then didn't we have, we had another one.
The next dungeon. It was the next trial, actually. Trial with a Titan.
Was that the midget tank? No.
Lalafell.
Do you know how hard it is as a melee DPS to know where to stand, like, when they run in? Like, okay, I'm married to a tank, so new tanks, if you're listening, please, for the love of God, turn the fucking boss away from the party. Jesus Christ, that's like the most important thing. If you can't hit your mitigation, fine. If you can't, don't turn your back to the boss, and don't have them turn to the party. I died on a fight and lost the commendation. I know I did, because the tank refused.
I got the commendation.
You suck. You suck. It was my limit break that killed the fucker, and you got it. It's the dragon that flies overhead that drops the ice, whatever dungeon that is, and so.
Oh God, that's Dodgeball Simulator 2016.
So.
That's Dodgeball Simulator 2016.
It lands, and we're all up at one part of the room. Me, playing many MMOs in my life and having my husband tank for me constantly, or Smashy, I've been very fortunate, I guess, because apparently tanking is hard. And so the midget just stands there and it breathes
LaFell.
frost on me. No, this guy's a midget. Like this guy, this one in particular.
It's a potato. Call it a potato.
Okay, this
That's what we call
potato.
us, a potato.
This potato did not turn the boss away. The healer almost died. Smashy almost died. Well, of course, the fucking dragoon just fucking goddamn fell over, and I was like so embarrassed. I was like,
Wait. Was this the room that had the tanks in it that you had to hit
No.
the tanks on it? I call it the Captain Planet room because there's like hail and fucking snow and rain all in the one.
no.
It
I
was the final boss of.
Oh, it's the final part outside then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the big dragon you fight at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was so upset. I lost because I was 2 commendations ahead of Smashy. And so that's another thing that's really cool. You can give player commendations. And as DPS, I fight for those because normally people give them to the tank and healer. And rightly so. Rightly so. But hey, you know what? If the DPS does a good job, hey, help a
Throw us a
sister
bone.
out. You know what
You
I'm
know
saying?
those commendations give you gifts and achievement titles and stuff.
Well,
too,
I
right?
have 5. Smashy
If you
now
get
has
10,
5.
If you get 10, you get the heart of the party, and then if you get a certain number, like you get like gear and items you can glamour, like a crown and shit.
Hey, San, I don't have 5. I have 6. Oh!
Go to hell.
So,
Go to
and you
hell.
can also get stuff for your chocobo, I think, too, when you get commendations.
It
So
was
you can
my-
get like outfit items.
It was my limit break that I'm constantly using. And the tank even goes, good job on the limit break. And I'm thinking, yeah, I got a commendation coming. No, it goes to the bard that stands in the back shooting his flaming arrows.
Listen, if he has faux requiem, if he used it properly, he cast it the right time when he needed to, or he gave you all what was it, Swiftfoot or whatever that makes you motherfuckers run.
Song. No,
Oh,
I
that's Swift Song.
played
There you
the buff mana generation for somebody, I think, because they were low in mana.
Were they
Yeah.
magic based?
Yeah, probably.
Nice. Oh, you know what? That actually helps the healers too. That does
So-
help the
There you go.
healers.
Yeah.
And in the last 2 dungeons, when it was just chaos, and there's 8 of us running around, and half of us are new, and we don't know what's going on, and we're basically being carried by the other 4. Smashy goes, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I can't hit anything. It's dying. He goes, I don't know. People need TP and MP, so that's just all I'm doing.
Singing.
Honestly, you're doing the right thing then. You're doing the right thing.
I'm good at this game, Zan. She agrees with me.
See,
Oh my
now
god, I have to hit stuff, dude. I can't sing a song. I have to kill shit.
Now, mind you, for the majority of my MMO careers, I've always played a heavy melee or heavy DPS role. Case in point, I was a Death Knight in fucking World of Warcraft. The fact that Final Fantasy XIV gave me the option to be DPS as a healer, and I was able to stance, which is anybody who's a white mage knows when you stance, you click from cleric stance off to cleric stance, and then all of your damage spells actually end up increasing. That is so much fun. But there have been many fights that I have done where I've been in cleric stance while trying to heal, and I'm not healing as good as I should. So I tell myself, I'm giving myself the added challenge in certain dungeons. Don't be that guy. Know when you're doing your stance. Because if not, you're going to fuck up and you're going to kill people in a very important fight. Or you're going to have everybody in your group yelling at you, hey, white mage, take off your motherfucking cleric stance. I'm like, oh shit, my bad. They're like, thank you, and smiley face. I'm like, at least you're nice about it.
So that's
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Like, we were in the last dungeon, and you're supposed to pick up a key, and then you get the little battle tank that you run around in, and so like
the tech armor that plays Terra's theme. I
So-
love that magic armor.
I didn't see a key to pick up. And so I'm standing around, everyone's running ahead of me, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm gonna get locked out. I'm panicking, I don't know what to do. And someone goes, Takashi over here. I'm like, who the hell's Takashi? Like, what are they talking about?
That's you.
I was like, oh, right.
No, I will say, I mean, granted, it is still an MMO. You're gonna deal with asshole players from time to time. But for the most part, anything that I've done new, especially as a white mage healer who has never like looked up at strats for certain dungeons, people are really fucking nice. And if they pull too many like I've had tanks that I've dealt with that may have pulled too much, and all I have to do is tell them, hey, you're pulling too much. I'm not I'm not doing as good as I'm supposed to be. Like, can you like keep it down a little bit? And people are respectful, and they'll be like, okay, my bad. Maybe I apologize for pulling too much, and they're really good about it. So,
Yeah, I mean, we haven't, like, the majority of people have been super nice. Like, we all did, we all did the Halloween event together, and it took us, twice, just the first time just to figure out what exactly was going on. Um, but, I mean, everyone has been really nice, really helpful. No one's been mean at all. Like, even the tank who said that I was the worst healer, he didn't say it to the healer. He wasn't obnoxious to the healer, and so it was it's been a very nice experience so far with the players.
it seems like it's the
Sam,
more relevant. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you forgot the story with Titan right after we did the dungeon where the tank was like, "That's the worst healer ever." We did the Titan trial where you fight Titan. You're on like a round platform,
Fuck Titan.
and
Hate that guy.
the
Fuck
the
that
tank
guy.
was new, and the healer was like,
Oh.
"Okay, you need to stand." So you remember that you need to stand on the edge and face him away from everybody or whatever.
The tank pulls
And
it to the middle of the room.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and the
Twice,
healer
because
just
we
keeps
died
telling
the
him.
first time.
The healer just keeps telling him. Then, like, on the second attempt, as we're like, everybody survived this time, and he's almost dead. The healer's just like, "Was it? You're just the dumbest tank ever." Or, no, I've taught a lot of tanks how to do this.
The healer goes, "Of all the people I've taught, you are the worst tank ever." And then they
And
left.
This happened the dungeon after. We just had the one tank be, "You're the worst healer ever."
I mean, it
Really?
happens. And the thing is and this is my honest opinion, and some people may or may not agree with it, but the more relevant content that you do, like right now, if you were running, like, let's say Sophia Normal or Sophia Savage or Sophia Extreme, or maybe even Alexander Savage, like those turns, those people are the really diehard people that can be assholes because it's that relevant content that I think puts them over that edge. A lot of the older content I'm noticing people aren't as assholish about. So you're still going to deal with, jerks from time to time, but it's never going to be as bad as some other MMOs out there. So
That's true.
it happens, but I feel like I've noticed in more relevant current content, that's when people are fucking like batshit crazy because they're trying to go for a record that doesn't exist, like the world first that has already been done like 2 weeks ago. I don't understand it, but it is what it is.
I will say it is cool. So if you are still listening and you want to pick up the game or you're new to it, they have their own proving grounds kind of thing within Final Fantasy 14. So proving grounds, I use that term because I'm a Warcraft person. But it's basically, Sab did that last night and he found it really fun. It teaches you how to play your job at that time. So like he did it and it told him how to be a tank. It told him what aggro was. It told him how to build aggro, how to build AoE aggro. And it gives you a party that you have to then protect. And so, and they're right outside every dungeon. They have a little green thing like over their head, so you can click on it and learn, but it was absolutely, as specifically as someone who usually hates melee DPS like I do, I love being a dragoon. But that fight, you're absolutely right, and I must have blocked it out of my memory because it was so bad. But he kept pulling Titan to the middle of the room.
It has to go to the edge.
Then he would like turn him around. So I didn't know where the fuck to stand because I'm like, well, I'm not a tank, so I should definitely not be standing in front of the boss. And, for one of my abilities, I get bonus damage if I'm behind it, which is where I should be. And I'm just running in a circle. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I can't find, and I'm like, oh my God, people are going to complain about my DPS, but I can't stand still to hit this thing. And it was just, so we died, we came back, he pulled it back to the middle of the room, and I was like, what are you doing?
There's one part in Titan, or maybe I'm confusing it with Ifrit. No, I'm almost positive. It's the fucking landslides. Fuck those landslides. Fuck you, Titan. Where you actually do have to go into the middle, but it's kind of like the middle, yet outside of the middle circle, and it's visibly noticeable like in the game because you again can see the area effect as to when he's about to cast landslide. As a white mage, having to fucking Benny that or having to just cast Cure 2 or God, any of my AoE like heal spells, that shit fucking sucks. Especially if you have that one asshole person who doesn't realize that they need to come in a little bit, but they're so afraid that they run out, and then they pull landslide or he stomps, and then it just fucking they fall off the cliff, and then they're like, "Save me!" And I'm like, "I can't. You're down at the bottom." Ti- Fuck Titan. First off, I hate Titan. I hate doing Titan. I have to do him as both normal and X, which is not going to be fun, but you have to do it as well. It is what it is. Uh, Fuck Titan. That's all I have to say about that. That's it. Just fuck Titan. But the dungeons really do help you to become a better player. But fuck Titan. I hate that fight. I hate the strat for it. It can go eat me. Like it fucking sucks. I'm not a fan of it.
The other cool thing about the dungeons, and this kind of feeds into the story, is every dungeon feeds into part of the main story. So when you beat that last dungeon, you know you've beaten the game. Like you feel like a hero. Like even if they remove all the cutscenes, you know that that's where it all went down. That's where it ended, right? But in like for me in Warcraft, I could have maxed out in some random dungeon that has nothing to do with the main story. It's just kind of a side story, and then I just go back and kind of farm gear. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like,
no, it does. It definitely does.
It really it's so interesting how they just tied it all into the main story. So every dungeon has a place, it fills out the story, and you have a purpose, and you feel accomplished at the end of every one, and you know the end result, and you kind of know the next steps. You know what I mean?
Well, now here's a question that I do want to ask to both of you guys and this is a very important question because it's different. It's different for both our experiences. When I started working with Rue and leveling her up, the content that I had been going through at the time had been the end game content. So it was literally just me waiting for next patch to next patch to next patch. I think there is literally like 2 story patches that I was behind on, and all I had to do was the MSQ just to get to that point, and then I was ready for Heaven's Word. I'm curious to ask where you guys are at now. Do you feel that the gated content actually discourages you from wanting to continue doing certain things or pushing you back? Like, do you feel that the gated content actually makes you feel like an outsider in any sense? I'm very curious about that because I didn't necessarily have that problem because I wasn't too far behind. I'm curious as to where your thoughts are on that, because that's a big issue that people have with the game was they feel that it doesn't cater to casuals because it is gated content when it's gated by the main story. Like you can't get to Heaven's Ward until you finish the main story. I'm curious as your thoughts on that.
I will say personally, when I heard that announcement for Heaven's Ward, I was like, fuck that game. Like, because it is knowing the little bit how long it took me to level in the beginning, and then knowing that I'd have to go through all that stuff, I just didn't see the value in it. You know what I mean? Because in other games, I was so used to, well, I just buy the expansion. But I think having picked it back up and kind of really understanding the point or part of one of the points of this MMO, and that makes it different, is the story is very important. And I know Smasshy, I don't think he wanted to go through all this. Like, I remember looking up all the quests, and I was like, okay, buddy. I texted him. I was like, are you sitting down? It's like, okay. Well, we're on quest 56. And he goes, okay. And I was like, out of 184. And he's like, well, we beat the game, right? We're level 50. And I'm like, you don't have to play it. It's cool. Like, I don't want to push you. You know what I mean? But I felt at that point like I was having a good time leveling. I wanted to see the story, and I was okay with it. Like, I'm okay with it right now. I'm proud of the fact that I went back through and did 184 quests, for this story, and I feel very rewarded for that. How I felt last night, like I was very emotional with the end, and caught off guard. Like, it's just, I felt very rewarded. As someone who enjoys story, I appreciate it now.
Mhm.
But I think if I was just an outsider who had never played the game, or maybe who had played it a long time ago and didn't like the struggles that I listed before, I probably would not pick it up. But I appreciate them forcing you to go through it. I think that's what really sets this MMO apart, and I don't want them to ever change that because I think it'll cheapen it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It'll just make it like every other MMO, and I don't want that. Plus, to be brutally honest, I think why we don't see a lot of jerks is because you aren't given everything up front. You have to really work for it and earn it in the game. And so a lot of people who are used to the freebies, who maybe don't have that positive attitude and can really take the time to get involved into what this game wants you to get involved, they just kind of fall to the wayside. So by the time you get anywhere towards the end, it is kind of more people that appreciate it for what it is, and maybe they're a bit more positive because they understand the value of it.
Mm-hmm. I know, I know for myself, the story gets you invested into the game. That's how it felt for me.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed in the story. I cried uncontrollably in the story. This game really pulls the emotions out of you because it makes you the center focus and the theme. I can't wait for you guys to go through the next anniversary event when they do the anniversary celebration for each year. Oh my God, off the top of my head, I can't remember what it's called. When you do that quest line, which it's not a very big quest line, it's very simple. The way they make you recap the year that you had progressed in the story, or the years past, or the years past before that, they really focus on the players, and it gets you to the point that you kind of are like, it's their way of them saying thank you to you. I can't wait for you guys to experience that, because I know it makes me cry every year. I hope it does the same for you. Like, maybe not make you cry, but it helps you to realize how appreciated you are. And I think that's the beauty of it, is the story makes you feel appreciated for what you do as the warrior of light. And mind you, everybody's a warrior of light, but there's something, just that special something about you, and they do it flawlessly. I really do
Yeah.
love it.
Smashy, how did you feel about all that?
Personally, I don't mind having to do the story and everything going through it. Like, it does sometimes. Like, I do kind of wish, like, sometimes it's like I kind of wish I could just go and do this, but
Mhm.
I don't mind going through the story and everything because it is a very story-driven game. So, like, it makes sense to force you to go through the story. So when you get there and everything, you understand what's going on. You're not just blindly wandering in with no idea who are these people, what's going on. Because one big thing that we noted here I wanted to bring up too is just it's really nice having all the story within the game itself. Because
Mhm.
like in WoW and even in like Guild Wars to a bit and everything, there are books that they have and everything that has a lot of the lore, which is good. But the problem is then within the game, you don't have that story a lot of the time, or they don't do the story that was in the books very well in game. So you end up with situations where it's like, oh, you meet this character that was in the book that you know absolutely nothing about, and the game expects you to like know or care about them, and you're like, I don't know who this is. I don't care about this person. So it's good that the game like forces you to see all the story and everything, because that way you understand who these characters are, what their motivations are, what's going on in the story and everything.
Well, and
Yeah.
also I will say, at least for up to what we have seen, um, it
Mhm.
makes the story available to everyone. So, like in Warcraft, if you wanted to know what happened to Gary at the end of that expansion, I hope you
Oh
had a raid
God.
group, or go to
Mhm.
YouTube, because you're not going to know what the fuck happened in that raid unless you were in there.
Mhm.
But I know exactly what happened
Fuck
in this
Gary.
story. I knew what happened to Takashi. I knew my role in it. I knew everything. And it was made available to me. It wasn't locked behind content that I needed, mythic or super hardcore elite gear to see. Now that may happen in the future. I don't know. I haven't gotten to Heaven's Ward, but for at least the first game, for lack of a better way of saying it, it was all it was all there for me, and I really appreciated that because it's something that bothers me when content can be locked behind stuff that can be unattainable for some people.
I will tell you from definitely from Heaven's Ward, when you go from the level grind to 50 to 60, don't worry too much about the gear. The gear will become available for you so that it makes you viable and makes you an asset to the group, not a hindrance. I wouldn't worry about that too much. Plus, the distribution of loot drops when you have to run any dungeons or anything like that, they will help you out. And of course, the level scaling will help you out too. So don't feel that you're gated. You're not gated so much behind gear or dungeons as much as you are just behind the story. And they purposely kind of did that backwards compared to other MMOs, I think, just so that people do stick to the story and stay engaged in it. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. I wouldn't worry about that at all. So and now if I can ask you guys, and I'm just curious because I'm legitimately curious, where are you guys currently at right now, in where you finished A Realm Reborn? Like, what happened?
So, we destroyed the ultimate weapon. We saved our friend who had like that dark crystal.
Okay.
And we just kind of
watched all the credits.
Yeah, we watched all the credits. We heard that terrible sound, realized that another primal is out somewhere, and then I call her Muffin. What's her name? Her official
Minfilia?
name? Yeah, I call her
Minfilia.
Muffin. So Muffin is thinking about do we leave Ulda and go somewhere else so we can be neutral, and that's kind of where we logged last night.
Okay, that's fine. I was just curious because I didn't know where in the storyline you were. You guys are going to still go through a couple more story patches before you get to Heaven's Ward. But I will tell you,
quests.
but you know what? As long as they are, let me tell you, the story is going to break you. Like, it's going to be emotionally gripping in so many ways. So just look forward to it and have a blast. Have fun, because that's the best part of it. Honestly, the story was what drove me to just lose my shit and laugh and cry and just dance and cheer. So you'll really enjoy it. And then when you finally do get to Heaven's Word, enjoy that cutscene is all I have to say. I'll leave it at that. You're gonna seriously go and you're gonna feel so badass. You're gonna walk out with like no pants on and be like, who's fucking badass? I'm fucking badass. And it's just one cutscene that does it for you. And that's your introduction to Heaven's Word. So it'll be good times. Another thing that I did that did come into play as well is just the social interactivity I think that this game offers you. I know that you guys are actually in an FC of some dear friends of mine and former FC mates before, they wanted to go do their own thing, have their own house. You guys are with the Doom Kids. I fucking love the Doom Kids.
Oh my god, they are
I love
awesome.
them.
So like
now,
I found Faye through you on Twitter, and I've followed her forever. Just kind of paying attention, and I was looking for a FC, because stupid sushi moment, when we logged on and it said dead above my head, I thought that meant that the guild or free company we were in before disbanded. So I just dropped. So yeah, I'm a noob. Hello. So we ran around, not, having one, and I have not raided since, God, Smashy, when was the last time we raided? Kata?
We've raided in Cataclysm, and we fought Alakir, and I got kicked from the guild for not drinking flasks.
Right, so Kata. So we aren't going to go into that.
I think that was the last time.
So, But something's really driving me. Like, I really want to see the rating content again. Like, I really wanted to find a home where that was maybe a possibility. So I just kind of reached out to her because she's always seemed very positive and very nice on Twitter. And I was like, hey, I don't know, I'm new, and she was like, oh my gosh, we'd love to have you. And so I joined, and I fell in love with it. Got Sab involved, and I was like, you should consider, they seem like really nice people. Like, when you play MMOs, your guild mates, your free company mates, they can be crazy people or they can be totally cool people. And I have to say
They can be
that
totally cool, crazy people.
no, I have to say that Knights of Doom, they are really cool people. They are so helpful and check in and say hello, say goodnight, and they're so active. They're doing stuff. And the guild leader, who is also a cat boy, yay, cat boys.
Yeah, Con.
He is so friendly and so nice, and he seems so excited when the guild grows. And I haven't had that warm, fuzzy feeling in a group of players like that in a very long time. And Sab and I were talking about that last night, and it feels right. And I know Smashy, he joined last because he's very particular, and I have to give him a talking to make sure he's nice to people. He joined, and they were like, oh, is Nanashi a Lafael? And Smashy goes, oh, I gotta drop, I can't be here. And I was like, and then Coffee, she said, yeah, we need them to sacrifice to the RNG gods. And
Coffee life.
Smashy goes, I'm gonna like it here. I'm really gonna like it here. So
they are now. The fun fact about Doom, and I don't know if you guys know this, is that everybody is from different parts of the world, and yet you see them actively online all the time. Now, Khan, the FC leader, is actually from Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Faye is from Australia. Her brother, Belle, who's also in Australia, plays Final Fantasy, and then their sister Lola is actually currently living in London, and they all still play around the same time. I believe Coffee's also from Australia too, and then a lot of NA folks play. So they're very active almost 24/7. There's never a time that you won't see at least 2, 3, 4 people online, and they're always doing something. So it's a great FC to be in if you want to be active and going out there. And they are the nicest people ever. I love them. They used to be old govers, and then they decided to do their own thing. It was an amicable split. We were cool with it, and now they're running Doom, and we all still talk on the same link shells all the time. So everybody gets along with everybody, and it's a very fun FC to be in. I'm glad that you guys joined the Doom Kids because they are so much fun.
Yeah,
so much fun.
I found one FC called Lude, and of course I naturally wanted to join. But I went to their website, and I just you have that feeling after you've played MMOs for a while, your comfort level, and they seem like very nice people from their website. I didn't look too far into it, but talking with Faye and everything, it felt right, and they're really cool people. So I'm really, really happy. The other thing I wanted to say too is that the other part of this game, like you mentioned the social aspect, but the other part that this game offers you that I know Sab really, really enjoys is it is kind of soloable content because you have your chocobo. So like that's one thing he likes. Like, he talks all day at his job, and sometimes he just wants to come home and just play by himself and kind of be left alone. And this game, you can do that. I mean, you can do it in other MMOs, but this one, especially with, things still hurt in this game, but with your chocobo friend and everything, you can kind of run around and do, be by yourself until you need people for those dungeons or trials or whatever. So I think it rewards a lot of different kinds of players, and I like that.
It's a game that whatever you're feeling you feel like doing, you can go and do in this game. If you feel like raiding, you can raid. If you feel like doing PvP, PvP is now finally up and coming to being something that's, on a somewhat competitive level. If you just want to quest and grind and just, build money, you can do levy meets if you wanted to, or you can run dungeons. Or if you just want to chill out and take screenshots or just watch the sun cycles, like watch the sunset and
And
see
the
the stars
weather.
come out and the weather, all you have to do is just, sit in one of the residential districts. There's times that I'll go in there, with the full intent of going and leveling, and then just get lost because I'm sitting at one of my FC mates' houses and we're, discussing interior design. Like, oh, where did you get that couch from? How do we decorate it here? Oh, I'm redecorating the cafe. What do you think I should do? And we'll just bullshit. And that's the beauty of this game is you can do whatever the fuck you want and have a blast.
So speaking of interior design, I'm thinking of starting up a GoFundMe for Takashi to get a house. I am saving up. I don't buy anything in this game. I make Smasshy buy it. And then I make him give me his money at the end of the night.
What?
Because I want a house. I want a beach house really, really bad.
Oh, you want one in the mist?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like saving up my money, and if I could do, if Square could add a GoFundMe to the game, I would make one for Takashi.
Now, I will tell you this. I mean, they do have all the sub-districts and sub-wards, so there may be some housing available, just if you look into the wards. For the time being, too, for just 500,000 gil, for 500K, you can also get an apartment.
No, she does not want one. No.
I looked at that.
All right, that's fine.
I've offered.
That's okay.
No.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly. I'm the same way. I took out a loan with my FC to get my home and then paid it back little by little. That's what I did with Gov. They gave me a generous loan to purchase the land, to purchase the house, and then I had to pay it back little by little, and that's how I did it. So it's different strokes for different folks, but if you want to save your money, you can. And it's very affordable. It's very affordable right now to buy a home because there's certain rules and requirements now for the housing. If you're not there for X number of days, they completely relinquish the land.
Oh,
and
I
then
know.
It's
I got those rules written down. I know.
Now here's the other thing I would suggest to you too. With the new expansion, which by the way, they are coming out with a new expansion in summer 2017 called Stormblood. They are releasing a new housing ward. Mm-hmm. When that happens, I would not be surprised if people dropped houses in the Mist District to go to the new housing, which a lot of people are speculating might be Ishgard for the new housing district. If that's the case, I would even save up to that point because, you know what I mean, you'll have the money right there and then you could just drop it and get whatever size home you want. You can get the small, medium, or large. I personally like having the small home, but that's just me.
So Ishgard, is that a beach?
No, Ishgard is actually, you know how you see constantly snow for the Heavensward intro?
Oh.
It's the more snowy area. If you want, I'd say, if you want to go for one of the original housing districts, if you want to go for the beach, I would actually hold out. Or unless you have the money and it's available and you could take it right then and there, just keep checking back. But probably when the new housing district releases in Stormblood, I could see a couple people relinquishing land and moving over into the new housing district. So that's a thought to consider too.
Plan made.
Now here's another thing too: is monetarily, if you are looking in one of the subdivisions are always going to be cheaper than the main ward areas.
Oh.
And so if you look for the 31 through 60 land plots, because they were added in like a second phase of the housing districts, they're usually cheaper, and a lot of people just don't buy them as much. Look in the subdivisions, and if you don't mind getting a small plot home, which
I don't.
you're in my house. That's the size of a small plot. Those can go on our server
1 to 2.
Yeah, 1 to 2 million for the land, and then probably another 2 to purchase the house of your choice. So like if you could save up about 4 or 5 million gil, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
We're close to 1.
I'm close to 1.
That's okay. And you should even be able to see what the housing plot costs are. I don't know where it is, but
and
somewhere.
I have one more thing to do with the Maelstrom. I have to get up one more rank.
Another
Oh,
set
to
of
get
ranks,
to
yeah.
second serpent lieutenant or whatever.
Yeah, whatever
Nelson
the
Lieutenant.
yeah, I have to get up one more rank with them, but I have everything else done because I've completed the main story. I've reached level 50. I just have to finish that part um, of it, and then I will just be watching the market at that point.
That's fine. And that's it's easy to do. People will help you out along the way. Keep doing duty roulettes to keep getting money. If you do end up picking up a crafting profession, crafting is a great way, selling your stuff on the market board and getting the money for it. Goldsmithing, leatherworking, armory, armor
Mm-hmm.
crafting, those are great money makers for you as well. So if you can level that up, you'll definitely generate a lot of money that way too. So there's so many different options as to what you can do. So don't be discouraged. Like if you're only just getting up to the 1 million point now, if you're very persistent with it, you can get your money in your house in no time. I really do believe that.
I'm pimping Nanashi out, basically.
You are pimping Nanashi out. Yes, you are.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You are
not
doing
not Takashi. Takashi just collects the money, but I'm pimping Nanashi out.
Poor Nanashi. Now, I remember for myself being apprehensive about picking Mist because my main job is, and probably will always be forever, no matter how much I argue and contend and fight it, is White Mage. So I thought I should be in the Lavender Beds, but then I started Rue as Arcanist, so I had her in Limsa Laminsa.
Mm-hmm.
I love being in the mist. Have you checked out Ulda or the Lavender Beds
Yes.
housing districts?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. So you're just adamant on the beach.
Yep.
Okay.
We have too many swimsuits to not live at the
Yes.
beach.
Exactly.
So, Smashy, have you considered saving up money to get your own apartment just to house these swimsuits for the time being, or just curious to
So
ask?
so
I don't
wait,
have any money to buy an apartment.
he
It's all
doesn't.
gone.
He pays me literally every night when we log off. He's like, "Here's your money." I'm like, "Thank you."
Wow.
He also what was you?
About
So
a boat?
Nanashi used to be Sonico best girl.
That's who you were. I was trying to figure out, like, who the fuck is Nanashi? I knew it was you, but I didn't know which form or tune it was.
Yeah. So
Oh,
then he took his dragon girl and made her a dragon boy, but
No, I made my other cat girl a dragon boy. I still
oh,
have my dragon
either
girl, Saya.
way, either way, he tells me online. All I hear is my panties are repaired, so I can't store them. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking?
I get it. That's that's some real hard times right there. That's some hard times. Uh,
I was like, thank God you don't live with anyone. And they're like walking by and they hear you say, my panties aren't repaired, so I can't store them.
you just have to get them repaired at a repair shop.
I forgot. I went to the repair shop and I forgot you have to switch it to your inventory tabs. And I
Mhm,
just went and I'm like, yeah, repair everything. And I forgot that it's only repair everything that I have equipped.
mhm.
And then I was like, well, I just went to one. I'm too lazy to go back.
Oh
So I'm gonna
man.
have to do. I did it eventually. I did it finally, like a day or two ago.
Oh man.
Got my panties repaired.
My panties are repaired now. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Now I have to say, you guys seem very content on your roles. I fight with being a white mage every day, but at the end of the day, I'm still a white mage. Have you guys even explored the other options of other classes out there, or are you just dead set on being a dragoon and a
No,
bard?
we have, because at some point I would like to level that. The only other thing that interests me right now is a Dark Knight, but seeing the last two dungeons, I'm scared shitless, so I don't know.
Oh no, no, Dark Knight's fun. Please try Dark Knight, and please try Astrologian, because holy shit, they are so much fun. Machinist, nah, I don't care too much for, but
I
please try the
don't.
other classes.
I the cloth armor or the light armor on Takashi is not very flattering. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it looks a little silly. So
Oh.
I don't know. Like, I think the first one I would try is a Dark Knight, um, and go from there. I may stick more. I'm kind of wanting to stick more melee,
Hmm.
with him.
Be a monk.
Yeah, Monk's gonna be fun. Monk's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Monk is broken. They're so much fun though.
But
I
like
do
I
love.
have so I renamed Sushi on the server to Nanako, of course. And I'm trying to level her. She's a arcanist.
Yes, Arcanist
Mhm.
right now.
And I don't want to do that. I want to make her a black mage. So whenever I don't feel like being a dragoon, I might log into her and try and get her back to where I can start working on the black mage stuff. But I think Dark Knight for Takashi will be next. Smashy, you've kind of been eyeballing a couple of things.
I've been eyeballing a few. Like I've thought about monk, and I've leveled it like a little bit, I think.
Hmm.
But I just haven't had time to go level the whole thing because it took a while to level Bard and everything. And we've kept leveling, so
It
haven't really had time to go get it
Monk's
back
a
on its
lot.
own.
Monk's a lot of fun for melee. It's just more positionally based.
Hmm.
So your rotation is dependent on where you're standing. So you purposely have to get yourself into. It reminds me a lot of, and I tell people this all the time, even though it's probably not relevant, or at least to some people it might be. The anime bullshit fans will get it. I compare it to Project Diva because it's very rhythmically based where your stance will give you more maximum burst DPS depend like there's certain moves and certain spells that you cast that'll have a better effect based on whether you're going flank or whether you're going behind or whether you're on the other side or whether you're up front. It's a
Hmm.
lot of fun. If you enjoy that, you're going to love that and you would love Ninja then cuz Ninja's literally Project Diva too, because you have to do specific combinations in order before you know what I mean. You could do something, and if you do it wrong, then a bunny jumps out on top of your head. So it's total anime bullshit, but I
Hmm.
love it. I would definitely suggest those if you want to try them out. Ninja's fun and Monk's fun too. And I hope more people try out Dark Knight because then they'll see my husbando Sturgu. I love him. I absolutely love him. I'm probably, and this is me being me, but I'm probably going to roll another tune, probably a Zayla Auri, and make her a Dark Knight, just so I can make her be the husband or be the wife of Sidurgu, because he's my favorite character in the entire game. I love him. He's an asshole, and I love him. He's the best. He is part of the Dark Knight questline. You guys will see him when the time comes. I'm just calling it now. That's my husbando for life. I love him more than life itself. He reminds me of Koltira Death Reaver, and I cannot be happier with him. So if you guys do Death Knight, definitely check him out. Tell him his wifey says hello, and she loves him.
See, now I also, especially in those last dungeons we just did at max level,
Hmm.
we had a machinist in our party with us, I think.
Hmm.
And seeing that, like I've thought about wanting to try it, and seeing them in action, I was like, oh, that looks like it'd be kind of fun. That is probably one of my only complaints with the expansion, like forcing you to do all the story stuff, is you can't pick up those quests until you've gone into the story and everything. Because like it just kind of sucks being like, okay, well, I know I want to play this class, like with Sab and everything, where he's like, I
Hmm.
know I want to play a Dark Knight, but you have to get to 50, do all the story quests and everything, and you'll probably be halfway to 60 by then, and then you can pick up the class and switch back. Admittedly, you start at level 30, not 1, but like that's like one thing I want to complain about because
It,
they look so cool. I want to play them right away, but you're
I
locked behind a lot of content to get to it.
and I know a lot of people that share those same sentiments too. I think that's one of the things that made Sam so upset was the fact that he wanted to be a Dark Knight, but he has to first get through all the content of A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Word just to get to that quest line, just to pick up the job stone. And then he's going to have to level it from 30 to 60. It sucks. I get that. But I also see on the other end too that that's what people essentially had to do in a sense to get to that point too. So I understand why Square does it. I mean, I wish it wasn't that way. I wish it was easier to obtain too, because I have my machinist job stone and I don't fucking know how to use it. I'm like, I don't know what I do here. I'm like, how does this work? But it I had to go through the story to get to that point. So it's like I get what they're trying to do. It sucks, but I get it.
Yeah, like
So
that's about how I feel. Like I understand why they do it and everything, but it's just one of those things like, oh, this looks so cool, but I'm not even going to be able to try it out until like hundreds of hours into the game or whatever, leveling up to like probably we're going to be closer to 60 or so by the time we actually get to Heaven's Ward.
and it's not necessarily a consolation, but I will say this: if you want to consider being a machinist, or really for whatever class you want, you need cross class skills from different jobs or different classes to better hone your skills. So like let's say you wanted to be a machinist, there are some bard and monk skills that would be useful to have, much like how you got your job stone at being a bard. I think it was what pugilist and gladiator, or pugilist and conjurer. I forget
Yeah,
what it was.
I think Bard is it Lancer is the third one,
Oh
maybe?
no, it's
Is
archer
Lancer the second one?
and it's archer and lancer then.
Archer and Lancer, I think, is Bard, yeah. And
So
then you
I
have
mean,
a third class as your tertiary class, but yeah.
exactly. So also think of it this way: as much as I can make of a consolation, like trying to make the best out of a bad situation, in that if you aren't if you aren't a machinist yet, just know that you have the skills utilized to make you an even better machinist come time when it is available for you to use as a job stone. So, just keep that in the forefront of your mind too. Let that be your motivation to want you to get to that point. It's like I have all these wonderful skills in this job. I can use them at my will to make myself be a better machinist. So maybe that's
Yeah.
a way to look at it too.
Yeah,
So,
I get that, and I like that and everything. It's really cool being like, oh, if I've leveled these other classes, I can get certain skills from them,
mhm,
and they're definitely beneficial. But it's still just like it just hurts being like, oh, I have to level up to 60 so I can start at 30 and level up from 30 up to 60.
mhm,
Like,
mhm,
but it's cool. It's fun. I I'm not complaining that enough that like I'm like, oh, I hate this. I don't like I'm never gonna do it. But it's just one of those things like I wish it was just a little bit easier to get into it.
mhm. Now, I will say another thing that I love about this game, is the lore. I love the lore and the story. You're so engrossed in the story that knowing the lore gives you a better understanding of things. And to folks who don't know, they just recently came out with the Encyclopedia Eorzea. They first released it at Fan Fest 2016 in Vegas, and now it's starting to become available online to NA, EU, and I think Japan as well. I am absolutely in love with the lore book. This book is the reason I went from being a human bard back to a cat girl white mage, because it just solidified a lot of theories and conspiracies I had about certain characters in the game. It gave me a deeper look about the meanings behind just the minute details like astral and umbral, and just figuring out the basic life energy, the force of the game, and just of that world in general. I'm curious as to what you guys have thought about it, if you picked it up. I know Sushi did you pick it up, Smashy?
I did not get the lore book.
Oh man, how do you like it so far, Sushi?
Well, I'll be honest, I haven't gone through it um, as much as I would have liked because I was really trying to finish the story of the game.
That's fine. That's fine.
But I will say, and I kind of talked about this on Twitter, I, of course, went to the Dragoon page and was just kind of flipping. And I don't know how much of it is going to be spoilers for me, too, as far as Heaven's Ward. So I don't know if they're in there. I assume they may be. But I was really surprised that my Takashi wasn't featured as the prize Dragoon. Just because because that's how amazing of a job that the game did of making me feel like a true hero that I expected my character's face in the encyclopedia. I think it's amazing. I love it when games do stuff like this. And I hope... I don't know, do you think they will release another one after the expansion? Or...
I mean, they really kind of give the cliffhanger for them to be able to do so
Okay.
because when Stormblood is coming in, it looks like Stormblood's going to have some new jobs, some new classes, and
Mm-hmm.
some new characters. So it would make sense if they did. Um, or they may even wait till the next expansion to release maybe the quote unquote next volume because the Encyclopedia Eorzea predominantly covers A Realm Reborn 1.0 and 2.0 as well as Heaven's Word. So they might wait till the next expansion that comes out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to have to be that long of a wait for us because they've been really consistent about releasing a new expansion at least once every year. I mean, from the time A Realm Reborn came out, I think it was a year and a half, maybe 2 years that they released Heaven's Word. And now that we're currently in Heaven's Word, we're only going to have to wait for another summer for Stormblood to appear. And they've had it planned and it's been, revealed in a lot of live letters from the producer. Yoshi P has literally planned the next 5 expansions already. So the
Mm-hmm.
next 5 expansions have already been set. They're ready to go. They're going to start on them. So we will see a consistent pattern. And if you guys have noticed, I mean, just the story patches alone, we see a new story patch come in at least every 2 to 3 months. So it's not very stagnant in
Mm-hmm.
in Final Fantasy, which is really cool. And it's unfortunate because there are some MMOs out there that will go months, if not years, before you see a new story patch. Whereas they try to keep everything fresh in content as much as possible.
Well, and
So
that's not to interrupt you. That's one thing that I hope that they. So just I don't know how they handle things. I'm very new to this game, to this atmosphere, to the history. But one thing I really dislike is when gaming companies release something along these lines, like an encyclopedia or a book, or let's say a role playing book for
mhm.
their game. And then they come out years later and say, oh, we lied, that's not canon. That doesn't really happen. So I'm hoping that with this being an official encyclopedia, which is great that they've already released it. I mean, Warcraft is releasing kind of something similar about their story. I forget what it's called, but Volume 1 is out. But I think it's great that, I mean, to me, this still seems like an early game. You know what I mean? Like, it still seems in the early stages of it, especially there's 5 more expansions that are planned. And we're already getting this great side information that goes along with it and feeds it. And I just hope they continue it and they stay true to it, I guess, is what.
I mean, the fact I have a strong sense of confidence that they can keep it canon because you're even seeing lore and story from Final Fantasy XI, which was their previous MMO, kind of, bleeding into Final Fantasy 14. And they're doing it in the Star Wars way, where, if we started with 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3 hasn't been released yet, they do it so that it melds within one another pretty well. I think that this is something that they are doing, and I strongly feel that if they do continue to do this, I think they'll keep it as canon as possible, and I don't think that they would be the type to add something new into it just because Yoshi P had said, oh, well, I decided to make up this new character. Or there's an author who wrote a book and just made up these characters and threw them into the storyline. So they had to throw them into the game. Obviously, we know what MMO I'm talking about here that's done that. But I haven't seen that done with Yoshi P. And Yoshi P, I must clearly say this with a bias too, and I don't mean to, but he's pretty forward and frank about things. If there's something they can do or something that they can, it's a tangible possibility. He'll tell you, we'll try to work on it. We'll try to work on it. But if there's something that, realistically can't be done, he will tell you why it can't be done. And he
Which
will explain
is
it and break it down, which is such
that
a relief.
that is so awesome, and that's something. So I listened to a Hearthstone podcast called The Angry Chicken, which is great. And that's something that they're talking about within the Hearthstone community is they want more honesty, and they're starting to see that from Ben Brode, what can and can't be done, but it's not as open as what I've seen. So the Fan Fest that recently happened in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
I kind of kept up with it, but that's when I saw a lot of his brutal honesty. And um, I've heard it mentioned here or there, but I respect that. And the open communication, more games and gamers and gaming companies need to have that.
Hmm.
Um, and so I think that that is really amazing. That he shows that he's listening, but he's also brutally honest to say, "Hey, that we just can't do that. Maybe we can do a version. I don't know, but I think that that is much needed within all games, and so it's just one more reason why I'm really impressed with this community." And just a quick shout out, real quick. Um, Thank you to Reniki on Twitter, who accidentally bought two FanFest things and gave me the code for the other one. Um,
Oh, nice.
Thank you so, so much. So I'm getting the rewards and I really appreciate that. So thank you. So,
Nice. You're getting the mounts, the minions, I mean?
yep.
Oh, nice. That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
I do. I enjoy that. And I think that's cool that they offer that as an option. So the the beauty of this game comes from uh, how do I put this? I want to try to be as neutral as possible about this, but still being informative. Yoshi P has a way of being larger than life, but not putting himself on that pedestal. He stays on the ground level with everyone else, and that's clear from the fan fest, from people. One of the beautiful things that you see about fan fest is, no matter who's there, somebody, if you want to take a picture with any of the staff members there, you know what I mean? They'll take a picture with you. They'll talk with you. They're super nice. He's played, games with the fans whenever there's like a new, trial being released. He's a very down to earth person, but he does what he can. He does what he can for the people. And this game, he really gives back so much. And I think that's one of the reasons why people reciprocated in being respectful to him, no matter how stupid of the questions we might ask at certain live letters. He's really good about trying to give back as much as he can. And I think there's a mutual amicable respect. He isn't, if he's put in a superstar status, it's the people that respect him and admire him. It's out of admiration. It's not something that he tried to conjure and make up himself. He is just who he is, and I think that's what makes Yoshi P awesome. I love that he is brutally honest, and I love that he tells us, okay, maybe we can do this, or no, we can't do this, or oh, we looked at this avenue, we tried to do it, but here's the problems and here's the concerns. But as a consolation, maybe we can do something like this later on down the road. Like the way he does that, he does it so well. And even if it's done in Japanese with the translator, I think it's awesome. I think that it's great that he connects with us. And there's no bias between, and I think that's another good thing too, is that in the beginning, a lot of people were worried that there was a bias between the Japanese community to the North American community to the EU community. It There used to be a sense of favoritism early on in the beginning, but now it's feeling like more of everything's on the same level. Like every respected region is being treated as one. And it's giving that unity that we may not have necessarily seen before in this MMO or any other MMO. So I'm kind of excited about that too. There's a lot of good things with the community coming together. And of course, there's those shortcomings and there's still, fuck ups here and there, but they're trying to do their best every step of the way, and they really do give their all. So you got to give them much appreciation for that. And I feel like that's what the book was too, because the lore is something that is probably the most looked at like section of the forums. Is people want to know about the lore, people want to make sure that they're making their tunes lore friendly. I finally made Rue lore friendly after having the same character since 2013, 2012, I can't even remember. She's fine, her name and her religion and her race and her deity, and she's finally lore friendly, and it felt good because it was like, okay, I finally understand what my character's about. I know my warrior of light. And I feel like that's what the encyclopedia did for people. And it explained a lot of things that we may not have known. Like, there's some shit that I did a complete plot twist. I was like, no, what? I fucking knew it. Or, you had your speculations about certain things. You're like, oh, I fucking knew that happened. I knew it. I fucking knew it. The book just confirmed it. It's very exciting that this encyclopedia came out when it did. I feel like it kind of gave a sense of rejuvenation. It was a revival for the community. So I'm glad that it came out, and I feel like it came out at just the right time, especially with BlizzCon coming through. I think timing is everything with them, and I think that they've done a good job with just the way they've timed certain things. So I'm excited about that.
Yep.
So
do you want to talk about the expansion?
Yeah. The expansion, Stormblood. Yo, that's gonna be fun. In Heaven's Word, it seems that they have focused within certain classes. Like, of course, Heaven's Word is very heavily centric to dragoons and the story of Ishgard. Stormblood, in this sense, looks like it's going to start leaning towards the monk, and you could see it through the evolution of the Warrior of Light, which is the higher Midlander that you see in the beginning of the trailer. But then you also see some amazing spoils or ideas of spoils. The backdrop with Stormblood is the lost land of Alamigo. And as the liberation of Alamigo is going to be taking kind of the center stage in this storyline, it was revealed that the 12th Legion, Xenos Ye Galvis, the ruler of the occupied Alamigo, will be one of the main adversaries to be faced during this adventure. That's explained in the storyline. So I'm going to leave it at that. And you'll understand as you're going through the storyline. Some features that have been, revealed is that there is going to be a level cap raise from 60 to 70. Kind of knew that was coming. And there are going to be some multiple new jobs.
So this is the fun part. So let's guess. Because I know when the trailer came on, I saw you and a couple other people freaking out on Twitter.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we think. I thought it would be fun if we just guessed based upon the trailer and then talked about what's not in the trailer, what we would like to see.
Okay. Well, prior to even the trailer, I have to ask, did you guys look at what shirt Yoshi P was wearing?
Nope.
Okay. So Yoshi P has a way of spoiling things without spoiling things. I remember the last FanFest when they were discussing, was it FanFest or was it the Tokyo Game Show? He was wearing certain shirts, and certain shirts were his little clues as to what he was going to be revealing or what was going to be revealed in the expansion. Case in point, for the Dark Knight announcement, he actually wore a Batman shirt.
Yeah.
So the fact that this year he wore Scarlet Witch, everybody's immediately jumping to Red Mage, which is very likely to happen. A lot of people had also speculated Dancer based on what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
I have my theories about this. If you guys have been going through a Realm Reborn storyline, do you guys remember Ida, the monk?
Yes.
Who has the mask on her face?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Striking resemblance?
Hmm.
That's one of the theories that's out there, which would lead us further to believe that it would be Dancer. But other theories that have been conspired is if you actually, again, look at the Scarlet Witch shirt, you could assume Red Mage. Mm-hmm. But if you look at her and if you're a diehard fan of Yoshitaka Amano, that looks an awful lot like Tara Branford. And Tara is a Red Mage. So is this Red Mage or is this Dancer? We're not quite sure. And what does this actually mean about the classes themselves? A lot of people assume that a Dancer is typically a hybrid support class, similar to that of maybe the Bard or something. I think in this go-around, it could be DPS based. I honestly think if it's Dancer, if it's released to be Dancer, I think it's going to be a tank.
So,
If
okay, so question, because I'm dumb.
Mhm.
How many tank classes are in the game and healer classes or
right
jobs?
now in the game, for tank classes, there is Death Knight, there is Warrior, and there is Paladin
Okay, so that's
for the
three.
tanks. For healers, you could do a Scholar, you can do an Astrologian, or you can be a White Mage. And then, of course, your, DPS classes, regardless of ranged or melee, you have your Dragoon, you have your Machinist, you have your Bard. Bard does offer support, but um, it's support in the form of regeneration towards TP and MP, much like Smashy had discussed. So it's not that heavy of a healer base. It's definitely like just range support. What else is out there? The ninja is melee DPS. Um, fuck, I know I'm missing something. Monk is melee DPS. Thaumaturge is range DPS.
Yeah, there's
That's
Black Mage and Summoner, they're ranged
yeah.
DPS.
And then it's a pet based DPS, which is probably the reason why I don't know. It's a hope, but I don't know if we'll see Beastmaster this go around or Beast Tamer in this upcoming expansion. Thaumaturge reminds me actually a lot of Moon Chicken from WoW
Boomkin,
because
yeah.
it's
Yeah, the
Boomkin
Black
because it's
Mage.
yeah, because of the solar lunar eclipse. It's very similar to what you're doing with the spells. It's a lot of fun though. Lancer Dragoon is DPS. What am
Mhm.
I
So,
forgetting right now?
so
I
there's
think you have them all: Monk, Dragoon, Bard, Black Mage, Summoner, Ninja, and Machinist.
Yep.
so we have
One
a
thing.
if we have a fair like so there's three tanks, three healers, and a good amount of DPS. So
Yeah.
would they? So in Heaven's Word they added. Let's put our tinfoil hats on, I guess.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Tinfoil hats are safely on.
in Heaven's Ward they added Dark Knight and what?
They
Dark
added
Knight,
Ast-
Astrologian, whatever, and
Astrologian.
Machinist.
And mind you, also in between story patches, they released Ninja. So they actually released
Right.
4 classes. So,
So
Okay.
they added a melee DPS, a tank, a healer, and a ranged physical DPS.
yep.
Which one thing I noticed looking at the ranged physical only has Bard and Machinist, and ranged magical only has Black Mage and Summoner, where there's 3 melee physical, 3 tanks, 3 healers.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So, admittedly, it could also be that ranged physical and ranged magical really isn't too much of a difference, but I think they're probably going to add at least one more magical class, just because
Which
there's only 2 so far.
which would lead it to be the Red Mage. And people have been asking for Red Mage. A
Mhm.
lot of people actually play Bard now because it's the
Mhm.
closest thing to Red Mage from 11. So it would be a service, a gratitude back to the fans that they did give them Red Mage. But I'm also secretly hoping it's Dancer because I think Dancer's fucking awesome. But
Now, one question I have about the red mage is, from my understanding from Final Fantasy games, is the red mage is usually like it can do pretty much everything. It can use like up to mid level of black magic and white magic.
mhm.
Which what I'm kind of curious about that is there really isn't a class that's a hybrid. And I want to say I was reading some stuff and like they're trying to avoid that, just like because when you're playing a class, your class does this, and they want it to be that you're this class, you do this, like that is what you do. That is what you queue for a duty. You don't have to like pick between are you being a healer with this class or a DPS or anything. So I'm kind of curious how they would do that.
Well,
Oh,
I think with the way that they chose Arcanist in
mhm,
this the beginning of the game and the inception of the game, they gave you the summoner to be the ranged DPS, or they gave you the option of being a scholar, which is a ranged healer, or well, a support healer. Basically, it was a pet based option, but you can go either the DPS or the healing route.
mhm.
Kind of like I guess you could say like a paladin in WoW, where you are that hybrid, or a druid. If
But they
the
do it by separating it into 2 completely different jobs.
Mhm. Now,
Which, yeah.
red mages, as I understand it, they were very jack of all trades in 11. They were white mage, black mage, but could also fight with swords and rapiers and daggers. So they're basically, they were tangible of doing anything. This go round, I would see, for the sake of balance in the game, I would say ranged or red mage would probably go ranged magical DPS. Um, I don't think it would be a warrior of sorts. I think it would be leaning more towards the, black mage, white mage kind of hybrid. Um, so that's my position on it. I could very well be wrong, but I think that they are going to try to make them as jack of all trades as possible. But I don't think that they're going to extend as far out to the warrior reach. If that makes any sense, because that's kind of the way they were in 11, which is why they were kind of so sought after, and it kind of actually ended up in the same in the same time it was pigeonholing a lot of the white mages and black mages that were out there, because why would you deal with somebody who made that a central focus when you can have somebody who could do both
Can do
things?
both.
You know what I mean? It just
Mhm.
it kind of started outcasting certain classes, and I don't think that they would want to do that this go around in 14. I think they'd give them something special or unique that made them them. Unless they start doing range DPS with a sword. I don't know. I mean, that could be another
I
direction that they would do.
I was gonna say, what do you think about what if they made it a melee magical DPS class, where you fight in melee, and you're using magic and stuff? Uh,
Well,
mhm,
they are doing that now. I mean, Dark Knight. When you play Dark Knight, you'll see it firsthand, or Sab will see it firsthand whenever you guys try it out. Dark Knight now is melee magic based to a degree. If they've
mhm.
seen that there's an overwhelming success, or if they see that the population of folks are leaning more towards maybe a Dark Knight because of that hybrid of magic meets melee or tanking, they might do the same with Red Mage too. That's very possible also.
Yeah,
And
that was
it
one.
can be done. So,
That was something I was considering, just because it's another thing. Like, it just brings a new option of rules as a melee magical DPS or something like that. And admittedly, in the trailer, like, I think a lot of people were speculating that was a like dancer is what the woman was who had like the red attacks and everything.
mhm.
I'm just curious if they would do almost something like that, where they go with like a melee class that like uses magic to augment like physical attacks and everything, but they do mainly magical damage in melee or something like that.
Mhm.
I think that'd be interesting. I think that'd be cool.
I mean, if I remember correctly, now mind you, I never played 11. Sam actually played 11, and he was a really good miner, and he was actually a monk. He loves playing monks. He played monk and did mining in Final Fantasy 11. That was his level grind. I believe dancers in 11 were healers, and they were kind of like healer bards because it's like they did certain dances that had benefits, but then there were certain steps that kind of like debuffed enemies. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's how Dancer was. That could very well happen again this go around, but I kind of see it leaning more towards, again, I kind of see it being very similar to that of the ninja, where it's very rhythmic, or there's a choreography of sorts that you have to have a certain combination to execute a certain type of burst attack. But I also don't necessarily see it being DPS or healing. I keep thinking about it possibly being a tank. I think that would be a very different tank to have. I think it would be, the other side of being a paladin, so to speak. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's where
So
my direction's going towards.
so my noob self is just gonna say, I want to be Cloud, whatever he is. That's what I want to be. So
I
I
don't
like
know what cloud is. I honestly,
I asked on Twitter.
I
I asked on Twitter. I got no answer. Um, on the wiki, they have him listed as a mercenary, but I think that's just part. I don't think that that is like an actual job. Um,
yeah
so
uh,
I don't know. I'm terrible at Final Fantasy. Like I know the stories just from hearing about them and seeing other people play them. I've never really delved into the world real deeply. So that's why I was asking you guys for your tinfoil hat things, but my stupid comment to this is I just want to play Cloud.
Now,
So,
the wiki I was looking at talking about Final Fantasy. Whenever I looked up Cloud, at least I was looking up some different classes from Final Fantasy and stuff. It used him as an example of like a Mystic Knight or a Spell Fencer, which is sort of what I was thinking. Is kind of what I was thinking for like a Red Mage or something like that. It's a person who uses physical attacks but also knows magic and everything. So you see, like with Cloud, like he has his thunder magic and everything that
yes, he
yeah,
does.
stuff. He has that magic and everything, but he also has all of his like swordcraft abilities and different stuff like that. So I'd be curious to see a class like that. That's kind of what I was thinking with how they might do Red Mage, but I could see that being its own class or something. But
I'm trying. I guess that would be like what, like the Rune Fencer. I guess is kind of if you're going the mercenary route. Jesus, I don't know. I honestly can't answer that. I would love to know. I mean, I think that was.
I mean, that's fine. Like, I mean, no one answered me. Some people told me what their favorite classes were, but they didn't tell, or jobs, but they didn't tell me what Cloud or Zach was. So, I don't think. Clearly, I think someone, and I used the hashtag Final Fantasy, I think clearly someone would have schooled my ass by now if it was an obvious answer, so, but I was just curious.
My thought would be is this is again just a complete guess. I'm kind of throwing this one out into the fucking air and seeing if it sticks. I would say Cloud reminds me of a Rune Fencer because I think Rune Fencers are more of the magic swordsman kind of trope, I guess, or stereotype or profile. I don't know. I feel like they're a much stronger paladin. So that's what I would think possibly that Cloud is. Do I think it would be in the game? I would love to see it, but I feel like the Dark Knight does take that role to a degree. Maybe not to a severe degree, but I think it kind of takes that role at the current state of time. So I don't know if they would put it in, but again, Final Fantasy has always shocked the hell out of me, so you never know what they're going to put in this game.
30 more days, I get the outfit, I can change my hair, and then when I go Dark Knight, I can just pretend I'm Cloud.
Oh my god, I just realized you get the Veterans Award.
I think my next level is in 30 days. So I'll finally have my Cloud outfit.
Man, I really want to level a boy tune, and I really want to level a dragon boy. I keep making it look like Sidurgu, so I can't stray from it. I gotta make my man my own. But I'm gonna probably make him a Zayla Aura. So we'll see. Oh, but that fucking Cloud outfit. I remember when I showed it to you, you're like, what?
Yeah.
What is that? I'm like, oh, this is my Cloud outfit. How do you like it? I want that.
Like,
just stay in the game.
Why don't you walk behind this building and show me how the outfit works, and I'll punch you out and I'll steal your clothes. And
I wish it worked that way, but it's account bound. It's soul bound to you.
I can't. The other thing that would be nice, and this is just to get the talk to not be so serious again and back on lewd things. Have you seen in the previews for the remake of Final Fantasy VII Cloud's ass?
No.
Oh my god. Look up the trailer after this. There was this great GIF on Tumblr where it was like, yes, I want the remake of Final Fantasy VII, but I want Cloud's ass more. And they circled it, and it's like perfect. Like, it's just...
No, wait, have you played Triple Triad yet for the Cloud Strife card?
No, I don't know. What is that?
Oh, the card game.
Yeah, the card game that you could play at the Golden Saucer. If you play Triple Triad, I think it costs like 1 million or two
Nope,
million
I'm buying a
Vanderbilt
house.
gold points. No. It's a different currency than Gil.
Okay.
It's a different currency than Gil. It's the MGP, which is the Manderville gold points, as opposed to actual like your money Gil. You can get a Cloud Strife triple triad card, which is like I think it's a 5-star legendary card. So
Okay.
if you're into card games and you play, but
I
it's pretty
see.
nice. Is there a Cloud Strife minion in this game too? I don't remember.
I haven't. I don't know. I have no clue about this game.
Important research. Let's see.
I'm actually looking at myself right now. I'm like, wait, I don't think there is this Cloud Strife minion. No, I don't think so. At least
Nah.
not yet. Give it time. But I see that you like Alphino also. I was not expecting you to be a
Yes.
fan of Alphino.
Well, I wasn't at first. But through the story, I was like, wow, that kid's really smart, and I really like his character, and um, of course, I think he's attractive, and of course, he's totally underage. So, it's just an appreciation. That's all. It's very
No one
on
should
the up
let
and
a
up.
16-year-old kid lead an army.
Smashy gets hung up on the fact that he's like, wow, this 16-year-old kid has an army. He's telling him what to do. And meanwhile, I'm like,
Awesome.
wow, I'm going to hell. The kid's 16. Jesus
Uh,
Christ. Sushi,
eh,
what are you doing with your life?
is he really 16?
That's what
I
it
mean,
says.
Apparently.
really?
It is-
I love Alice. I love his sister Alice. She's my favorite, even though she's basically the other version of him with just an earring changed. But
I want his earring. I want it.
he's really only 16?
I'm pretty sure.
That's what the wiki said when we
Yeah.
looked it up. Him
Wow.
and his sister are 16.
Now, I
Well,
know they're
no.
elves. So,
They're Ellison. Yeah, they are
sorry.
Ellison.
Yeah, the fancy
Uh,
term.
Fancy elf.
I like how you keep calling the Lalafell midgets. I keep going, potato, no, potato.
I'll
They're
get it. I'm,
potatoes.
I'm just so new. I'll get it. I called my free company guild the other night in a tweet, and I was like, "Damn it! I'll figure this out."
Nobody. Don't worry.
I really try and learn the lingo of the game so I don't make a jackass out of myself. But yeah,
You're fine. You are fine. There's a lot of differences between this game and other MMOs, so
Mhm.
don't worry about it. Like, and nobody cares. Really, nobody gives a shit because everybody still says like, "Oh, look at my guild." So don't stress it. But this game has so much to offer. You can get married in this game. I have a husband in this game. I have a ring, and we got a chocobo together because we got married, and we had a ceremony, and we invited people, and then we had a reception afterwards at one of the FC houses. This game has everything. I love it. Absolutely love this game.
so the other thing, like with the expansion that they announced that I had to look up. Well, Smashy looked it up for me. So they're adding new dungeons. They're calling challenging high level raids, but then alliance raids, which are like 24-man raids. Is that currently in the game, or is that something that they're totally adding?
Alliance raids, basically what they mean by alliance raids is, you know how you can either join the Maelstrom, the Order of the Serpent,
Mm-hmm.
or the Immortal Flames. Right now they have a PvP feature where you can do front lines as your respected like alliance.
Oh.
Now they're actually transferring that over into the raid sense, and you can do bigger raids, with just specifically your alliance, which is cool. Which is
Yeah.
cool. Actually, I really like the way they do rating for bigger like groups in Final Fantasy 14. When you guys get to Crystal Tower or ST, you'll see what I mean, and it's so much fun, and the music is fucking amazing. Oh my god, some of my favorite soundtrack music comes from those two raids. So have fun and enjoy. Or they're actually, I guess, trial dungeon. Well, they're raids. Fuck it. You'll enjoy it regardless. So definitely check
Yeah.
them out.
And then apparently they're adding new gear and more inventory, which is what everybody wanted.
Bless them.
Apparently.
We were
Yes.
so excited about that. No, you don't understand. Do you know you could only have like 100 items on your housing developments? So the fact that I get more space means I could probably put more housing stuff up. And oh, I cried. I literally got up and just started clapping. I was like, this is the best news I've heard all day. Best news ever.
And
So
then
that,
the other thing was they're cutting. Well, they announced that they're ending the PS3 support
yeah.
for the game, but they're apparently having a PS3 to PS4 upgrade campaign, so people can seamlessly join in the expansion. So I think that's cool. I
And
appreciate
I
that.
I think all they have to do is just buy the game. But or maybe you already need to own the game. But aside from that, I think the actual upgrade's free. So long as you have a service account and you already have the game, you'll be able to like upgrade for free, which is good, which is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. I feel like that's a great way to do it. It seems like an easy transition. Now they just need to work on fixing the Mac version of Final Fantasy 14, and then I'll be content.
Yeah, yeah,
Because that was an unfortunate shitstorm. Again, they're not perfect, but I would like my Mac version too eventually. So
yeah.
that'll be good times. And then they said there more news will be coming to the fan festivals in Tokyo and Europe. Now, I do believe Tokyo is where they're going to announce the new jobs, and I have a feeling that they'll probably announce one of the two jobs for the expansion, and then they're going to announce in an upcoming story patch, they'll announce a new job. That's what I think. And I think it'll happen in Tokyo. Europe, probably going to announce an upcoming raid boss, is my guess.
Mm.
Or a new primal, which I would be all for too, because the primals are pretty fucking awesome. So that's my guesses on that. I don't know what you guys think they'll be teasing at the upcoming fan festivals.
I have no clue. I've never paid attention, so this will be like literally like I said. I'm brand new. I'm going all in.
Just make sure you watch Yoshi P shirts, because they'll usually show the live letter from the producer for free on Twitch. So just keep watch that, and just keep watching what shirt he's wearing. Chances are something will be announced, or he'll come out in a crazy costume and you'll be like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. Well played, Yoshi P. Well played. So
Awesome.
keep on the lookout for that. But also, I would say, is there any closing thoughts? Is there anything else you guys were curious about, or anything else you want to know?
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I think you've all compelled me to want to roll an aura tonight, so I'll probably roll that so I can make the wife of Sadurgu. That's probably what I'll be doing tonight, unless I make him a boy and we get some yaoi on yaoi Dragon Boy action on, which
I
may happen.
found. Oh my god! I found okay. I I'm terrible. So Dragon Boys and Cat Boys are different heights, and it doesn't really work out well for good pictures sometimes. So, but I will tell you, I found pictures that Dragon Boys are the same size, or tall size, sorry, as Elf Boys, and they make very nice pictures together. That's all I'm gonna say.
So wait, what am I rolling tonight? I'm gonna roll an alt, but what am I rolling tonight? What do you guys want me to roll? Do you want me to roll a dragon boy or a dragon girl or an elf boy? What am I doing?
It's all up to you, man. Takashi
Oh,
and
no,
Anashi accept all.
I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want to do though. I just want to be loved with you guys. I want to join the crew.
Oh, you can. Sab is a cat girl. He's part of the crew. He has the cute little Wednesday braids. I picked his hair. I picked his hair. He let me do that.
I'm probably gonna try to level up a Death Knight, but I might make it a Dragon Girl because I can't think of a Dragon Boy name.
They're tiny.
It's probably
They are.
They're bitty.
They're very, very short.
I have to make them super fucking tall. Like I have to make it like 100 just to make it relatively tall. So
two things real quick. A game that just came out this week that you guys should get. It goes along with everything. Like Pizza and Smash were talking about, World of Final Fantasy. It's out. PS4 and Vita. It looks better on the PS4, sadly, but it's on both. Get it. It's great. If the demo is still available, download the demo, play it first, get some free armor in the original or in the actual game. If you want to. If you don't, cool, whatever. Also, another announcement: we are less than a month away from Final Fantasy 15. They sent out. They are billing people, so heads up to anyone. I don't know anyone personally, maybe. They got the Ultimate Collector's Edition. But just a heads up to those of us that did get it, they're billing you now. So heads up. Because it's a hefty bill.
Because you're like, oh shit.
Yep. There goes like 200 and something dollars. So.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's the Ultimate Collector's Edition.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Collector's Edition is over $200?
With the figure and everything?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, snap. I didn't realize. I literally thought it was like $150. I didn't know that.
No, I think it was... Don't quote me. It's been a while. They just sent me an email where they're like, oh, make sure you have the money for it, bitch, because it's coming through. So...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they're going to be charging for pre-orders on Monday, October 31st.
This is $270 on their store, I think. I don't know if it's gone up since it was originally released or what.
But it's pricey, so just a heads up. If anyone has it, they're gonna bill you 3 days from now. So get that money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
I do also want to make a quick note, as this is just fairly recent news that I noticed. Square Enix is about to reveal a new mobile game for the Final Fantasy fans. They posted a teaser page indicating that the full reveal will be in 5 days. So that'll be happening on Wednesday, November 2nd. So be on the lookout for that.
Sorry.
It's going to be awesome. Oh, no, go ahead.
Also, going back to Final Fantasy 15, they released Omen on their YouTube account. I want to watch it, but I'm scared. I've seen some stuff on Tumblr. It seems too intense. But Noctis
haven't watched it?
No, Noctis does have his shirt off. He is topless, but there's blood and stuff, and I'm scared. So
watch it.
I will. But there's that, and then I think their popular mobile game, the one with the half naked guy as the main character that people were uncomfortable about. Do you remember that? The really popular one? It was a mobile game. When it came out, people were like, "Oh my god, like I want to play a half naked guy." It's a mobile game. Either way, it went to Steam, I think, recently. So I was going to check it out because I heard the complaints and that makes me like it even more. So I was just going to... Anyway, whatever. Sushi is terrible at Final Fantasy, so I'm just letting you know.
No, you're not.
Square Enix?
No.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah, like, look, okay, everyone go to your phone and open up the App Store because I'm embarrassed. We're going to find this.
Okay. It's not Final Fantasy Record Keeper, is it? Or Grand Blue Fantasy?
No.
It's the half-naked one.
I'm looking, let's see.
What it's a Square Enix title?
Yeah, it's Mobus.
Oh.
Mobus. Yeah, when it first came out, I saw a lot of people complain because they didn't like playing as the guy because he was his armor.
Mobius Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I think it went to Steam recently.
Oh, wait, I went to iTunes. I'm sorry. I fucked up. I'm like, why am I not finding this? Why am I getting ringtones?
Mobius Final Fantasy is coming to Steam.
Ha.
Yes.
Sushi.
In November in Japan.
Oh, well, never.
PC via Steam in November.
For all you Japan fans out there, heads up. It's coming your way.
We have tons of...
really look half naked. He's wearing part of a shirt, you know? The front is covered.
Says Nanashi, who wears part of a shirt into battle.
You know.
I kind of want to try... I wanted to try this game, but it just was a forever download. This thing took forever to download. But it does have a white mage, so I might do it anyway.
Sab played it a little bit, and he liked it, so...
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll re-download it.
It looks
Maybe
pretty
it'll-
good. At
Yeah.
least
It
the
looks
PC
gorgeous.
version, yeah. On the PC version, at least it looks really good. But I see he does have different outfits for different classes, and some of those are less dressed.
Oh, now I see the half naked
Or
thing.
shirtless, yep. Looks good.
He looks like Thancred. It's hard not to look at him and think to myself, like, it's Thancred. It's alright, we'll probably keep him in the white mage outfit. It'll be fine.
Okay, well that's officially all that I had. I will stop.
I didn't have anything other than that other mobile reveal. Other than that, we talked a lot about Final Fantasy XIV. I'm very happy. This makes me very, very happy. Guys, I'm gonna try leveling my white mage to 60. Next episode, we'll see how far I get with that, or if I hate myself and go, oh no, I tried another job. But we're gonna try. I'm at 56 with my white mage. I can do this. I just have to be diligent, and that's the hardest part. So we'll see. But I think aside from that, Smashy, did you have anything?
Nope. World of Final Fantasy is good. I'm ready to get to playing it again.
Yeah, I want my hand mount. I want my hand mirage. Ow. So, oh, my eye hurts. Wow, I really fucked up my eye by doing that. Aside from that, though, that is this week's episode. If you guys wanted to find out more about us and try to reach us on the social medias, you can reach me on Twitter at PizzaMade, or you can find me on Tumblr at hoshidohime.tumblr.com. As well, you can also find me on my blog, pizzamaid.moe. That's pizzamaid.moe. How can folks find you, Sushi and Smashy?
I am Sushi Geisha everywhere, Twitter, Tumblr, and sushigeisha.co. If you are a nice person in Final Fantasy and are on Ultros, I am Takashi Mataki.
I am at Yawgmoth2 on Twitter, and I'm looking. I'm going to find a different picture. I'm going to change my icon to Charlotte, just to spite both of you. Just
Why
because...
would you do that?
Oh.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna write Smashy as a bad boy. Is not a good boy.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna log into Conquest, take her to a map, and let her die. Love you.
Yep. But yeah, my name's Smashy. I'm at Yawgmoth2 on Twitter, and there you go. That's about all I'm at. Oh, God.
Someone's found you already. They're tweeting you already.
It was me. It was me.
Okay, well that's all I had.
Yep, that's basically it. If you guys did enjoy Final Fantasy XIV, you do want to end up trying out the game. Like Sushi said, we are on the Ultra server, which is the Primal Data Center. So come look out for us. Again, you can find Sushi at Takashi Mataki.
I'm Nashi Anami.
Anami.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, there you go. You picked my last name.
And I am Alicia Rue, A''Alicia Rue, RHU. And I think that'll do it for this week's episode. So we will see you all. We're excited to be back. This is a really long episode, but I don't care. I wanted this episode more than life itself. I'm so excited that you guys are into Final Fantasy XIV. And now I want to go look for Sab in game and hug him too. So that's probably going to happen at some point. Probably gonna happen, but we will see you all next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.